Hello, everyone, and welcome to the post-draft power rankings for the Cherish Ball Champions Division. My name, as always, Spades, the host. My co-host, Solinar. What's the word I'm looking for? No cams this week. We're hiding ourselves forever.
Not me, but
you guys, you're hiding yourself. You're getting special surgery.
You guys will get to see my face tomorrow on my stream, but that's not what this is about. This is Spades' stream, and I want him to get all of the limelight here. So
yeah. Well, instead, you can look at the beautiful Premier Ball and the beautiful Chad face. Although we all know which one we want more. It's the Premier Ball, obviously.
And so you say.
So, Mr. Solinar, are you ready to look at the post-draft of this beautiful division?
Yes, I am. There are certainly some teams that have been drafted, and I want to look at them.
Well, before we look at those, we have not one, but two special guests to look at. You're supposed to act surprised.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we did say that there were going to be guests.
Well, we didn't say who the guests were.
Oh, okay. Well, how'd you want to segue this?
We're just going to show the screen with our two guests, which I have up now. Introduce yourselves, Mr. Panda and Mr. JP.
Hello. Thank you for having me here.
Hello, everyone.
There you go. That was Panda and JP, respectively. Oh, I interrupted him. I'm mean. Man, there's like 50% of the PFPs here are goated, and the other 50% are kind of mid.
Dude, Full Metal Alchemist is amazing.
I have nothing to say about my PFP.
Other than the fact that you left the ball guys.
Yeah.
I can't believe you would do such a thing.
Ball game for life.
Exactly. JP knows. All right. We got a very special show here with these two very talented guests who are also competing in this division. We are going to look at the teams for this Series 9 VGC draft division of our champions, and they are quite stacked, to say the least. So let's dive right in, shall we? So we're going to be kind of passing the baton a little bit, so one person will be sitting out during each of the analysis, just so that we keep things moving. But if that one person has something like agreed or something to say, they're very much allowed to open up and say it. So let's get started, shall we, with the first team of this. We have Luke F. and the Chunky Monkeys, who, by the way, took the first game in this division, starting off with a 2-0 score with a very interesting squad, to say the least. One of my guests who speaks first.
Nobody spoke first.
All right, Chad spoke first. You get the honors to introduce this team. Look at how easy that was.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is your stream, Spades. You just gotta whenever you have guests here, bro, just take that shit and put it on someone. Like, oh yeah, Chad's gonna introduce this team.
I told you. I said somebody start talking, and you started talking. So you got the baton.
I got it, bro. I got it.
This was the horse race, or not the horse race, but the relay race, and I gave you the baton. That's how this works.
Oh, okay. Did you baton pass me a swords dance and a speed boost?
I must have hit you in the head because you didn't realize what the baton was.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So this team went for first round Alecki, I believe, which very first pick of the draft, which was interesting, and we saw them acquire throughout the draft some more hyper offense stuff with Ndidi and Lando. Their last couple of picks were really interesting, to say the least. They acquired Slurpuff, which is terrific on burden for any terrain team. I think Slurpuff is an elite terrain setter, an elite terrain abuser rather, with the Psychic Seed and support moves. This squad came out a little bit weird to me when I look at it personally, but that might just be me.
I mean, Luke spoke to me after this about his draft,
a bit weird.
And he told me that he loved it, and it was a bunch of mons that he knew really well, and a lot of other people did not know really well.
Yeah.
know most of these ones pretty well. Like if you watch Prohouse's game versus him today, the Slurpuff went crazy. It gets like moves you don't like. Connospore is like really good risk team because there's no tailwind, and it's like its other good form of speed control that's not Lecky because Lecky's pretty frail, and it has like other moves like Rain Dance that can help out like the Wishy Washy boost its power and stuff, or get rid of the sun, for example, like in that one game earlier today.
Yeah, Slurpuff and Didi is, I think, well, we have actual data to talk about here because he did play a game. But we saw Slurpuff and Didi kind of dismantle a team without any psychic resists. So
Yeah. I think the only weird thing in this team is probably the Kramer ramp. I don't know.
What do you think, JP?
Yeah, the last two picks are a bit weird. Also, I see there's like a lot of repeat types on the team. Like two water types, two dark types with the Spiritomb and Bishop. Two psychics with NDD and Gotorita. But overall, like, the basics are there.
Yeah, he checks a lot of the boxes as far as like speed control, different forms of coverage, physical and special attackers. He's got redirection, he's got multiple max threats.
Yeah.
I think this is like a complete team.
Yeah. There's some mons that I feel I don't really love on this team. Cramorant is an E tier pick, which does literally nothing. And the fact, there is value in E tier. There are mons that do things in E tier, but Cramorant is just not one of them. And I've actually never seen Bad Sharp do well in Dynamax format, so that'll be another mon that kind of needs to be proven to me.
I mean, it's there to stop Intimidate from Lando, is I think the main reason it's there.
Right, it's also ice resist for it.
But if the mon is bad enough to where you're just never bringing it because it doesn't do anything, then I'm just not so sure how good of a pick it actually ends up being.
I mean, the only thing I don't like about the Bisharp here is with the Nitty Mail. You can't sucker punch things, but besides that, I think it's okay here.
So Indeed also protects it from things like Mac Punch, for example.
True. That's it.
True.
Except it's just so slow is my issue with it. 70 speed is pretty abysmal.
Yeah.
Which you need to run a lot of speed for it, even with a Lecky, because you're only getting -1 on them, or +1 with Lando T Max. That's not getting you real fast, real quickly. So.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But
Agreed.
Overall, I think it's a pretty solid team. I don't see many issues with it, other than I guess there's a lot of the typings are spread out, but it's missing the fire for Fire, Water, Grass, which a lot of people know. It's missing a dragon. Right. But the type chart doesn't look horrible. It looks like the type chart's pretty good. Missing a fire and a dragon type, the type chart looks great.
Chad doesn't know how to pronounce mon names. Yeah, I called it Bad Sharp because it's bad.
All right, so we need to. This is the baseline. So where are we starting the Chunky Monkeys at?
Do we have a tier list or something?
I have the tier list open on my screen. But
so
S is the top, the cream of the crop. A is basically going to be a playoff team. B is a bubble team. C is get them next time, and D is your best of luck to you.
I like A tier for this team.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I'd say high B, low A would be my spot.
Yeah, I think A is pretty good. He's got a lot of pieces that he's comfortable with. That I think sells it for me to A. So, but really good team, going to be a threat, and already a threat. He's 1-0.
Exactly.
Well, these are week 0 power rankings, aren't they?
But we just watched the Slurpuff dismantle Pro Horse, so.
Oh, okay.
We have an idea the team can do. So, but I mean, of course, it is week 0 still, but
Yeah, week 0 is the thing. So. Yeah. All right, let's move it along to the number 2 pick, who I can't remember the name of other than Birmingham B-Drills. Yo Mom on Toast.
Yo Mom Toast. Yeah.
All right, JP, would you like to introduce this squad?
There you go.
So this will be my week 1 game, so I won't say too much.
Oh, right, never mind. We'll save you for the next one. Sorry, I didn't realize that. Panda,
I will
take over for
follow
that.
my words if he wrecks me.
take over for him.
Yeah, he'll do the next one.
Um,
I didn't realize this was his first opponent. Spill all your secrets of what you're gonna do against this team. Give him a cup of tea and we'll be fine.
Well, I think the thing that stands out here, I mean, he has the Rillaboom first pick, which is always a good mon. But he has the Liepard Rillaboom, so right away, the Unburden stuff. You can also Prankster. And another thing that sticks out to me is the Colitster. You can use Terrain Pulse, which is pretty cool. I think that's why he has it there. And then you have some pretty good support pieces like Crobat. And I mean, it's really just Crobat Liepard support here. And I guess you have Magnus for Ally Switch. But yeah, I like his first 5 picks. The things I don't really understand here is probably double fighting is kind of interesting here because you kind of stack on the weaknesses with flying for Rillaboom. So I'm not really too sure about that. Rotom Frost is okay here, I guess, but I'm honestly not a huge fan of Rotom Frost. There's some repetitive typings here that I don't really get with stacking electric, stacking on steel, and stacking on fighting. I think are a little strange, but I like his other picks with the Magnezone, Crobat, and Liepard, Rillaboom, and Chandelure even is pretty good here. But the other ones I don't really understand.
I mean, he basically wanted 2 really solid support pieces in Liepard and Crobat, and then just fill out the rest with things that deal damage. And
Yeah, pretty
Buzzwole and
much.
Surfetch'd and even Rotom Frost to some extent, they do damage. So his back end isn't I like the back end other than I keep seeing this number 5 on the type chart for fire weaknesses, and I grow concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's relying too much on the Chandelure Flash Fire.
Clawitzer,
Yeah.
you can do it. I
Yeah,
believe.
it's real. I love the
Although
synergy.
Surfetch does get Grassy Polite.
It does, yeah.
That's pretty
So
cool.
You didn't even know that when you
Really?
picked it too, which is the funniest part.
I like the synergy between Buzzwole and Magnezone defensively. I mean, they both are weak to fire, but Buzzwole's really biggest check is flying types, and Magnezone just completely dumpsters every flying type
Mhm.
that could possibly fight it. So I'm a big fan of that. But I think I agree with Panda with just some of the redundancy of roles. Surfetch doesn't really do anything that Buzzwole can't besides going for Grassy Glide, I guess, which sure, if that is a way you want to justify having them on, then fine. But
As a certified Surfetch hater.
yeah, I am a Surfetch hater.
Are you
for real?
certified? Or is that far-fetched of me to make that assumption?
Oh my god.
I'm leaving. I don't want to be here no more.
All right, I'm done leaking.
Oh my god. No.
Can't stop. Yeah, there's a lot to like about this team, though. I'm a big fan of the speed control, but from what I can tell, there's not a single Trick Room setter on this team besides the Chandelure, which it is a pretty good imprisoned Trick Room mon, but I don't know. It feels like there's just not quite enough support on the team. It's just all damage dealers.
Seems
Besides,
a little slow besides the Crobat.
yeah.
I mean,
Another
Liepard,
dimension.
it serves a whole different purpose than Crobat as far as the damage control part of it. So I actually like the control support pieces he has with Liepard, Crobat. Crobat being the really fast one, get in your face, kill you, and Liepard's the one that's going to slow the game down and basically make your team a lot bulkier because of the moves like Snarl, like Charm, and it even has, I forget if it's Trick or Switcheroo. They're the same move.
Yeah,
it still
has
does
Switcheroo, I
that.
think.
So
one cool thing I think for this team, you're talking about Trick Room earlier, Chad. Liepard gets Copycat, so he can Copycat Chandelier stuff. They really want to Trick Room up, and then Chandler's ready a big threat on the Trick Room. So I think that's a cool thing they can do.
That's fair.
Guarantee it. But yeah, I do agree. It can be hard to set up with no redirection, and you're kind of relying on, I guess, a Sash on the Chandelier to set up, or even Mental Herb. But it has a lot of weaknesses you got to be careful of. So yeah.
Yeah, it feels like a very volatile team that if they forget to prep for something, it feels like this team could really just get fucked up if they don't prep correctly. And having a very non-friendly team like that.
yeah, the only issue I have then after that, saying about that, is the special defense looks abysmal. And if
That's
he
true.
can, if he
Buzzwell
can
was-
shore that up somehow, maybe with just snarl spamming of Lipard, I think he has a good shot.
I think the Lipard is really relying on the Lipard here for that, which
True.
is best. But I mean, it's a good mon. It can do it, but once they can deal with it, I do agree. The special defense is quite easy to abuse.
Panda, do you want to say anything about your round 1 opponent? Or not Panda, JP.
Yeah. I do think there's a lot of good defensive synergy within its pieces, but I think it lacks some great max options that aren't more times weak to some things. Like Magnezone or Boswell can max, but they're both weak to stuff. I guess Chandelure is the best next thing to max. Can max Rillaboom, but you don't really want to max it. It's better off just having Grass Glide.
True.
But I think the max options are a bit lacking.
Yeah, actually, that's what
Good point.
the biggest crutch to this team, or whatever the word is called. I don't know English. But in a max format, I think it's essential that you at least have one mon that you can go to and say, "This is what I can max in a pinch." And there's really nothing on this team that says, "I can max to win the game." Like everything really needs help on this team for the max, and nothing too reliable.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, where are we putting this team? I have my idea, but we'll let you guys say.
I kind of like it in like mid B, maybe. I don't know.
I like it. I like it in B as well.
Yes.
Because it has the
It's
power in
a
some
bit
ways.
as well. It's a
But,
bit volatile.
Alright, I would have went C because of the Dynamax options, but I think his pieces are really good, and he has like lots of power at the bottom end.
Yeah.
Like he knew what he was doing when we told him at the earlier. He's like, "You got your support, go get your damage," and he got his damage.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I love the word volatile, and it's like I think it really applies here. Like this team is dangerous, but it's also like dangerous sometimes and not dangerous other times. It's just like it's all really going to depend on.
it
the
really
prep,
needs
honestly.
to be proactive. If this team
Yeah.
has to like hit the brakes, then you know something's going horribly awry.
True. All right, what's our next team?
That is the bulky Ferrothorns, and I'm not going to make the mistake of telling the person who's playing against them week 1 to introduce it, because I already
Thanks.
did that once. So, Mr. JP, because I don't want to talk about this team by very obvious reasons. Take it away.
Okay, so straight away, I think it's a great team, this one. I'm not seeing on the screen yet. But I don't know if that's just me. Okay, there we go. We have a bit of a delay. Okay, I think you first pick the Togekiss, which is a great option. Both Follow Me and the option to max. Next to Pikachu, he has the support if he wants to max Togekiss for the Lightning Rod support. He can also max Snorlax. So both the Azelf and Claydol like his Trick Room serves, I think. I don't remember if Gengar gets Trick Room.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay, so he has a lot of options to set up Trick Room to support the Snorlax pick. What else? Kartana also both good as a max option, or just straight up damage. I think it's a very solid squad all around. I don't really love Obstagoon, but I think it can work. Rest, the bottom tiers, Poliwrath might not be the best as he's only water type, and he has like a good way to set up rain for it, except maxing it and max Geyser. And Frostmouth I have never seen do it anything. Besides, all the top picks are really solid.
Talking about the Frostmoth, it gets Tailwind, and I think that's cool. But like as his only Tailwind setter here, I don't think that's the best. But I do agree the Togekiss is pretty good here. I think the Togekiss is the main glue here. Like a lot of things appreciate the Togekiss. The Snorlax, like right away, it's probably the biggest threat. Snorlax Belly Drum with Togekiss.
Yes.
You can even use Poliwrath Belly Drum, but I don't see you doing that when you have the Snorlax. You can protect things with Gengar, like Follow Me, Nasty Plot Gengar. You can do like bootleg special stuff like people used to do back in ladder. And I think it has some pretty good offensive pieces, but there are some pieces I don't really understand, like the Obstagoon. And I don't think Azelf is amazing here too. It's kind of weird. Claydolph or Tripper makes sense, but yeah, there's some pieces that I think are kind of odd. But I do like the offensive pressure this team can have, but it is relying quite a bit on the Togekiss.
Right.
It's my only complaint.
Yeah, what I noticed seeing the team is like Togekiss being what you said, the glue, and supporting everything really well. But then it just has the idea of like flipping the switch and being the max option. And what we complained about with the last team was lack of max options. Togekiss, Kartana, and Snorlax are very solid max options, and it pains me to say that about Kartana. But
even Gengar, if you want to use the Max Phantasm thing it has with G-Max.
what is even that G-Max move? I don't
Opponent
even know
can
what it
switch.
does.
It traps things, I
It's
think.
It's
Shadow Tag.
it traps.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. But honestly, on this team, I think Max Phantasm's better to help out Kartana.
Because Kartana needs lots of help.
Yeah. I think his first 4 picks are pretty solid. It's probably my favorite part about the team. The first 4 have some pretty decent synergy together.
You just have
On the
question
rest.
marks about the last 6.
To be honest, yeah. I mean, I get Pikachu, but I don't think Pikachu's that good.
I still probably think it's fast.
Yeah. So, but I
Like
think
Azelf it's really fast. It can work as a mixed attacker, like 125 on both attack and special attack. It's nothing to.
True. Yeah.
He has 3 ground immunities. That's kind of beautiful. Just looking at the type chart there, I think his types are pretty good. He has lots of diversity in types, which is nice. No fire type, but he does have fire coverage with Togekiss, so his typings look complete from that regard. He's got physical and he's got special attackers. He's got Dynamax threats. His speed control is, I think, where at least I have the biggest question mark. But
Yeah. Like I said earlier, only one talent's there.
Both Togekiss and Kartana get Master Stream. So.
yeah, and then Claydol is
he
your
can
Trick
do
Room
it for-
setter as well as Gengar or Azelf, which he will do because I know Hasugal and he's going to do something weird. So Gengar using Trick Room is not out of his range of possibilities. So I'm excited to see him work with this team. It's a squad that I think a lot of us, if we were told to pick up this team and say win with it, we would really question it. But he is a madman and he will figure it out. So
Dale brings up a good point.
where would you guys like to place Mr. Hasugal in the bulky Ferrothorns?
Oh, this one's kind of tough. I'm not gonna lie. Because I do, like I said, I like the first 4 pieces, and everything else I'm not really a huge fan of. But unlike the other team, it does have a lot of reliable max options. So I don't know. It's like, yeah, I'm not too sure.
Only its reps, I think it's at least an A, I'd say.
You think it's at least an A? I was gonna go like in front of Birmingham.
I was thinking B, yeah. Because you have to respect the max options, but it's also like we said, it's relying a lot on that Togekiss, even though like Togekiss can max. But for your other options to work, you kind of need the Togekiss. Will it follow me? I feel. So that's
yeah, I
where
think it
would
just
put
hinges on the Togekiss.
Oh.
Like it's a good team, but I think that there's a lot of question marks that we had. So I think B is fine for it.
Yeah.
But Hasugal is a crazy motherfucker, so he will figure it out.
Nice.
All right, number 4.
I face this guy. You guys can take over.
Okay,
I face.
we'll leave you on silent. Main Red Cloysters and Mr. Junebug, and he picked the Swiss Army knife that we all know as Dragapult. We have Rotom Wash and Volcarona with Mudsdale to kind of round out his upper tiers. And then some pretty solid lower tier picks. I remember in the mid-draft analysis, we really highlighted Aromatisse as being a really solid option on this team. And looking how the rest of it got built, it looks like Aromatisse is a really good fit after we predicting it being like our favorite pick that he made of the Mons. Like he picked good Mons, but Aromatisse looked extraordinarily like special. And now looking at the team, I really like Aromatisse's spot as being the only fairy type.
Yep.
That's a good way to set up Trick Room.
I mean,
Yeah,
you got
pretty
you
pretty
got the
decent.
you got the Rage Powder with Volcarona, as well as Volcarona can just be a max. You have one of the slowest sweepers in Pincurchin, which is nice. And then I don't know what the bottom four do.
The thing I noticed about this team just now is that it doesn't have any fake out. And while I usually in max formats and max leagues don't get on teams for not having fake out nearly as much as I would for a non-max division, I feel like a team like this would really appreciate having some fake out. Aromatisse typically appreciates either having like real redirection or a fake out mon, just to like help secure it doesn't get like blasted. Like Aromatisse, like with Rage Powder, you can like bring a grass type and something with the safety goggles, or just like a couple spread moves, and you can typically get a KO on it if you have the right stuff for it. Um, but yeah, I would otherwise, besides like not having fake out or yeah on this team, I like it. I think that there's some good max options. I really like Dragapult and Rotom as Dynamax threats, and there's some really good Trick Room damage in Mudsdale and Pincurchin. The only issue I have with them is that they need Trick Room to be super good, but otherwise, still good mons.
JP, any insight on your end?
I don't understand what Lennon Galler does, like, at all. Like, the other things I can understand, like Quillfish for Intimidate, so some other support moves he can do. Wing Length as a Steel type, as Knight says, he also has Trick Room. Maybe you can shift here and use it as a sweeper if needed. And Berison, well, doesn't have the greatest attack stance, but I think it can always work. Pincurchin, like, it's one of the slowest sweepers, but I don't think it fits as well on the team overall. Like, it has the Trick Room, but it doesn't have guaranteed Trick Room without the good redirection to support the setter. So I don't think it's the best sweeper for it. And it also is not working as a lightning rod option, because he doesn't really have much.
Yeah, he doesn't
Electric
care about
weaknesses?
electric moves.
Yeah. So I don't understand some of its overall picks.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that there's some good stuff on this team, but there's also a couple of questionable pieces that feel like they are lacking a little bit. I'm not quite sure, really. I think I'm starting to lean more towards with JP, where I'm not really sure why Pincurchin's here, especially because you already have like a better electric type with Rotom Wash, who just like does the role of being an electric type like better than Pincurchin does. So maybe you could get some better value in C tier, some better support for the squad. But for the most part, I really like a lot of the pieces of this team.
Well, both of you overlooked Sucker Punch Pincurchin into the Dragapult.
I was going to say that.
But other than that, it looks to me if you're going into Trick Room, you want the horse to be the one, like, being the star of the show.
Yeah,
so I don't know
max
what Pincurchin like doesn't fit in that role, because it doesn't really compare to the horse. If you have the option between Mudsdale and Pincurchin and Trick Room, I don't see a world where, even against water types, you'd probably still prefer Mudsdale a lot of the time, because it's just going to do so much more damage, and having access to Stab Max Quake to boost up that special defense so that it takes the water attacks better. So I don't see much room for Pincurchin from that end. But other than that, there's beat up Virizion, there's Volcarona with its support and it's also its offense, Rotom Wash, which can do lots of different things, lots of different items. This team's got a nice puzzle to figure out each week of what to do, because there's really nothing like obvious to do right away with this team. Like, we don't see like a synergy that like overtakes everything else and be like, this is what we have to do every week. This feels to me like choose your own adventure in a way, where you can choose, all right, I want to be a special Dragapult with a Scarf for Rotom with a support Volcarona, and then the next week you'd be a support Dragapult with a Nasty Plot Rotom and offensive Volcarona, for example. Like, there's a lot of play with those 3 mons that can impact how the rest of the team is constructed for the week. And I think that is where the biggest strength of this team is. It's not just a straightforward offense, straightforward support. I got pieces that do very different things, and they can do very different things. Figure it out.
Yeah, versatility is a thing that this team does very well.
Yeah, it's very versatile.
But
that's a good point.
I don't like the bottom 4.
I don't hate Virizion and Kling Klang. I don't really understand Quillfish, especially because there's like, I guess like for Aqua Jet policy proc on Mudsdale with stamina. I don't know. That's like really the only thing I could think of with like, besides like Intimidate, Icy Wind stuff. And Linoon Galar feels like kind of another like whiff with regards to like a late round pick. So I mean, definitely ways the team could improve to even further boost its versatility. But as of right now, yeah, it's pretty good. I think you'll sleep on Kling Klang and Virizion a little bit. That's fair.
Where shall we put the main red Clawitzers and their squad of mons?
I think this team is like 1 or 2 like trades away from being an S tier team, but for right now, it just kind of feels A tier to me.
I was gonna throw it in A as well. I think that the pieces are solid, like they're just good, solid mons. You can't go wrong with that. And then the bottom 4. So,
I personally think that this team is better than the Chunkin Monkeys.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, just throw it there for now.
Unless anyone disagrees.
I mean, I like Dragapult, Volcarona, Mudsdale, and Rotomlash. Like, those 4 alone are just superb.
Yeah, all very versatile. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, we shall move it along to the fifth team. Prince in the Midnight Ages. I believe it's Solinar, aka Chad's turn to introduce.
Okay.
Panda is gone, but now he's back. Or is that
All
JP?
right. I'm back.
It was Panda. Yeah. But I'll introduce this team real quick. So, Prince's team is I like this team personally. He's got a lot of like good picks here. Fast Tailwind with Noivern, with Zarina, who can kind of stop Fake Out from going into Noivern or Prankster garbage. I think Zarina's like a relatively good Pokemon, and it can be an okay max option as well. It typically isn't the main max option of most teams, but it can be for this one just because otherwise you have to use Power Whip, and that move is garbage at Lucian. Anyway, I like Dracozolt as well, and I like that there are multiple ways to use Dracozolt on this team with the Sand Force or the Sand with Sand Rush, or you have Tailwind with Hustle as well, and you even have like, I guess you kind of have like a Trick Room thing going on with like Hatterene that you can put slow Dracozolt in TR2, and it can be pretty strong. Milotic is another really good mon too. He has a lot of like baby value, which when I say baby value, I mean like the NFEs on the team that are not fully evolved, that are fulfilling like very important roles. And baby value is good when you have like one baby value mon, but I think that this team just has like far too much baby value, whereas like you can't really bring 3 babies to one match and expect it to go super well, like because they all require very similar items, like the Eviolite, the Focus Sash. None of these mons can really utilize any other item besides those 2, so
I agree.
Have some competition there, and you're like sharing that competition with Focus Sash with like Noivern and Hatterene to guarantee Tailwinds and Trick Rooms, and like Golurk doesn't really make sense. Like Golurk is one of my favorite mons, but it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense on this team. I guess like maybe Brutal Swing Hatterene to proc policy, but that's like all I can really think of. And then he has Sea King, which is like not a real Pokemon, so whatever.
Sea King
Seeking-
is
Oh.
going to come to one match, and if he plays Hasselgal, you bet. I'll bet you the first Mon that he puts on his team is Sea King.
Yeah,
King's
with
fucking ass.
yeah, it's like
I
Sea
can't
King
wait for
with
it.
Sea King with Horn Drill. Yeah, fucking whatever, dude. I
It really
don't
only
care.
horn shows things. Maybe lightning rod. I guess here for the Milotic could be nice, but you have a Dracozolt, so like
Yeah,
I do agree with the baby value. Like honestly, I think Rayola makes sense here for the coaching for Dracozolt is nice. The baby hippo is good here. I think baby hippo really likes the Evilite over Riolo. Riolo should usually sash, right? So
mhm.
the one I don't like is Fungus. I think Fungus is not the best. I mean, because you just slap a safety goggles on that thing, and it's like you ignore it completely, and that's all it does. Really, I'm not a huge fan of Mungus or Fungus in that line. And yeah, I don't know, but I do like the little mini sand mode. My Hatterene and Milotic is pretty nice here in the Tesserina. But the sash value is kind of weird here. Like I agree, like do you want a Noivern, do you want a hat to guarantee Tailwind or Trick Room? But the item balances are kind of weird for this team, but I think there are some good overall picks.
To note, this is also another team that does not have Fake Out on it too. So just
Oh.
like another thing to keep in mind that I just noticed as well. So
But the
Like-
opposing opponent can't have fake out because it does arena too, though. So you kind of
Yeah.
even playing field at least.
that's true, but
But fake
It
out
also
Yeah.
doesn't have a fire type.
yeah,
True.
and squad like this could really fucking use one because a lot of these Mons share pretty similar weaknesses that fire can check. Like, not a whole lot of ice resist on this team, and ice isn't really that good of a type. But like, you go up against someone with like like we looked at Rotom Frost earlier. Like Rotom Frost, like kind of fucking
Eats.
goes in on this
Yeah.
team. So like, there are just like certain ice types that have been picked that would really just like fucking ruin this team's day if they came across each other, and that's just like not a good weakness to have.
You should
Even
die
Milotic
for
really
it.
is.
It has six weaknesses and 2 resists.
The two
Oh,
resists
but
get hit by freeze dry.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
So,
Going
it's
back
like-
to
no, that you go.
okay, going back, you were saying earlier like fake out would be kind of nice. I think fake out would be good in this team because like we talked about earlier, like in order to prevent like a sash being broken or a monster surviving to get Tailwind or Trick Room up, a fake out for Hatterene, for example, is really nice. Get a free Trick Room up. Fake out for Noivern, get free Tailwind up would also be kind of nice here.
hmm
But yeah, ice
And-
is kind of a problem.
The one thing that I noticed that I thought was cool was the copycat Trick Room with Hatterene. Then you can do like Bullet Punch into the Hatterene for policy proc, and that's like a thing you can do with that duo of Riolu and Hatterene. But like,
It's a gimmick.
it's like gimmicky at best, and at worst, it's like a waste of your Dynamax. So
True.
this kind of reminds me of when Wolf played the Series 5 draft, where he drafted a bunch of Mons that had between 60 and 80 speed, and then he had Trick Room and he had Tailwind. This feels like that same type of team, where
very similar.
like he has to go with one or the other in like every game, and since they're on opposite ends of the spectrum, it seems like a nice guessing game that his opponents have to play. And also
Yeah.
with the babies, I don't see Hippo coming that much, so like it'll probably come like once. So the Eviolite's not going to be as contested, but I could see Riolu and Fugus being together, and that could take away the Sash, which I think is obviously the most important item for a team like this. When you need to get Tailwind up or you need to get Trick Room up. Tailwind's a little easier without the Sash because you have a 123 set or Tailwind setter, but your Trick Room setter really needs it, and it really needs something else to deter. And Fungus isn't the best deterrent of attacks, so. But regardless of that, he's got great pieces in Milotic, Serena, and Dracozolt. I think that's a solid 3-mon pair. And it can go into Trick Room, it can go in Tailwind. I mean, I have no complaints. I think that's a really solid built squad.
Yeah. Where do we want to rank it?
Say like low B, my opinion.
can do that.
I don't really like this team all that much. I think the team is swaggy, but I don't really like it all
You
that
really
much.
hate Sea King, don't you?
It's not that I don't like Seeking. It's just that this team feels incomplete. Is all.
I agree. Sir. Like I think some of the B teams we covered are kind of like that, or not incomplete, but have similar issues.
That's
we
fair.
might need
That's
to move
fair.
it down to C then, if that's
Oh.
where we're at.
Where do you think it should be, JP?
I will say it has arena, so it's even easier for it to set. Like
Okay,
it
I guess
doesn't
we'll
have to be
settle.
as worried for fake cats.
Yeah,
So B or C?
I guess. See, it seems like everyone.
Just because
I don't-
like B, like I think it's a lot worse than the B tier teams. Well, it's not a lot worse, but like I think it's.
Well, I do
it's
agree.
down.
It's not compared to the B teams. It's not my favorite. I think it's my least favorite of the B teams so far. But
Yeah.
We'll just leave
Let's
it
be
there
ru-
and then.
let-
move
yeah. Let's
up
be
if we need
ruthless.
to.
Let's put it in C tier.
Perfect.
so
Alright.
sorry, Prince.
All right. The next one, I am going to let you guys talk because I basically helped build this team. So, have at
Oh,
it.
your brother's team.
Yep.
Well, it has Cinderace. That's cool.
Cinder is Togetic.
So Cinderace Togetic is a classic. You get redirection for the ground types and such. I mean, Cinderace is basically a flying type, so it can be any type. So it's still cool. It helps out redirection. You have a decent Trick Room mode with Draggy and Gardevoir. I mean, even Haunter at Trick Room. Pheromosa's I think Pheromosa is kind of a weird pick, but it also kind of works. Fast coaching. It's weirdly your best form of Sea Control. That's not your max option. It gets really fast Icy Wind. You can also speed swap.
Good speed swap with the Drogalgi.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. That's really good here. Jolteon is also another form of speed control. You get Flame Orb, and I guess it gets Thunder Wave, right? You can slow things down like that. You have like a lot of big threats. Dracovish, of course, really good to Cinderace. Leafeon if you want to have Sun up with the Cinderace. But I think my only complaint is like it's not like the best form of speed control. I think like a team like this would appreciate Tailwind, even with its really fast mons. Tailwind still supports its other pieces without relying on an Icy Wind or Thunder Wave like that, you know?
Yeah, agreed.
So I think a Tailwind mon is really good. Also, like the other teams, there's no... I mean, it's infinite, but it's not a good fake out mon. A lot of teams so far don't got fake out, so that's interesting. The last 3 teams.
Yeah.
I think a fake out mon and a Tailwind mon would suit this team quite nicely, but I like the offensive pieces of this team that it has to offer. So
This motherfucker took Jolteon from me. I have nothing to say.
It was my idea to get an electric type, and Jolteon was the best one. So
how could you, Spades?
Yeah. That shit was
I
my
also
next
had
pick.
Jolteon on my side.
Man.
Me too. The same round, all the electric types were getting picked. I also wanted.
It's
So
tough out there.
one after the other.
I agree with basically everything Panda said. You know, like this is a fast hyper offense team. Get some tailwind for it. Even if it's like cheap tailwind, like a D tier, so you drop Jolteon maybe. Pick up a D tier tailwind or C tier tailwind.
You're just saying that so you can pick it up.
Hey, easy now. I don't like how much this team really likes having Pheromosa. Like, I think that Pheromosa is kind of being asked to do a lot, which isn't like a super huge problem most of the time because it's a good mon. It can usually guarantee like 2 moves with the Focus Sash help. But I don't know, like not having Fake Out on your team really makes it easy to just lead Fake Out against a team like this. Especially like with no good ghost types to deter that or no inner focus anywhere. Fake Out could be pretty prominent into a team like this. And yeah, it just feels like it's asking Pheromosa to do a lot. It's asking Pheromosa to coaching Cinderace, to speed swap their Galgi, to Icy Wind for Dracovish and Cinderace. And it's just a lot, you know? It's like asking a lot out of a Pokemon who is okay, but not like super broken or anything. That's all though.
I
Good
do
team
think
still.
Cinderace Togetic can come to like almost any matchup and destroy teams.
True. That is very
So
true.
like you can just start with Cinderace Togetic and clean up with Scarf Dracovish and Pheromosaur, whatever fits into that matchup. Like
Yeah.
you just
I
need those
agree.
4 months and you
It all
will
depends on the matchup.
beat both
but-
teams. Yes, of course.
I also like Max Psychic Cinderace into E-Force Gardevoir. I think that could be a
Oh,
like
that's
Cinderace.
cool.
Cinderace can set up for a lot of mons, like Panda was saying. It can max Flare for Leafeon. It can max Psychic for Gardevoir. It can max Darkness for Special Pheromosa with like Bug Buzz.
Quiverdense Pheromosa next to Togetic.
Hmm?
You can run Quiverdense Pheromosa next to Togetic.
Does Pheromosa get Quiver Dance? I didn't know if it did. That's
I think
wild.
Did it get Quiverdense? No, not Quiverdense. You got.
100%. Yes.
I think it does.
It
Hell yeah.
100% does.
Yeah.
You do
So, yeah, there's a lot of cool things. You could even do like special Cinderace, set up electric terrain for like Rising Voltage, Quick Feet, Jolteon, which is kind of neat. So yeah, Cinderace is just like sure. It's like the fucking alley ooper of this team, honestly.
Wrong sport.
Yeah.
But it sets it's like it just throws the ball up for the other person to dunk it.
But
That-
but
that's-
Cinderace is a soccer player.
What the fuck ever, dude.
Posting balls are balls, man.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a cool team. This team is very swaggy, and I like it. So, do you have anything to add? Anyone else?
I think we said everything. Well, I did at least.
All
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
there was
You
cover.
guys can go
Yeah.
ahead and give your unbiased ranking of it.
High A, high A or S.
I said it. Hey,
High
I was
A.
thinking high. I was thinking high B because of the lack of tailwind and fake out, but I can see the argument for high because you got some really strong threats here. So
Final answer.
yeah, I'm leaning more towards A as well. A tier.
Agreed. I like
Okay.
A tier. Sorry, Panda.
no, it's okay. It's okay.
I like
Overruled.
Cinderace a lot, and I like
No,
how
I-
much Cinderace supports this team. So
It has some good support. I agree.
All right, moving along, we have the Toronto Star Raptors and Night Front with the first pick of Porygon 2. Excadrill was not his second pick, but it got reordered to be in tier order. But he has Excadrill, Gigalith, Gyarados, Rotom-Mow, Moltres, Savali, Phalanx, Rapidash, Altaria, and I immediately, when he was drafting this, he does not like ground moves.
Yes.
He has 4 immunities to ground.
It makes sense for sand mode. It's good for the extra and Gigalith. So I guess that's where he was going with that. Yeah. The Gyarados, I like the Gyarados plus the sand mode. That's always good. You can spam EQ next to Gyarados. You can switch in for ground and fire types for extra drill.
and fighting.
And fighting, yeah. Which is also good for the Porygon 2, I guess, which I think Porygon 2 is a very interesting first pick here. It's a solid mon, but on a team like this, I feel like a Trick Room setter is good for the Gigalith. But Gigalith is a weird mon. I feel like it does 2 things. It either does Iron Defense Body Press stuff, or Weakness Policy, which I think it's its best set. And I feel like some Trick Room setter with like Bulldoze or Brick Break to like proc a policy here for Gigalith would be nice. And I don't think Porygon 2 can do that or is slower than it. So I thought that was interesting. But it has some pretty cool pieces with the flying types and ground types. So yeah.
What do you think, JP?
It's weird. It's weird to have Porygon 2 as the first pick and then go nowhere near the Trick Room route. Like the only thing that would have I've used Trick Room is the Jiggly. But
I
I
mean,
don't know. I like the overall picks.
I think there was some.
Even the lower tiers can do work. Like Altaria can do some stuff. Not the best, but Rapidash Galar, it's decent for an E tier.
Mhm. I think there's some missed opportunity here.
No.
I feel like this is a team that would have really appreciated having Stoutland. Honestly, Gigalith typically appreciates having Stoutland because it can like give it speed control outside of Trick Room with Sand Rush after you, which could be pretty nice for a Gigalith. I mean, don't get me wrong, I fucking hate Gigalith. I don't think it's very good, but I think that if you're gonna have Gigalith, Stoutland is like a necessary partner for it. Just because,
Stoutland would be nice.
yeah, and I think that Porygon 2 on a team like this, like, it serves a different purpose. It's like not here to be a Trick Room setter, more or less. It's here to benefit off of all of the Max Quack and Max Steel Spike this team has. Because like once you get some of those boosts on a Porygon 2, it just doesn't fucking die. Like, not in this format, it just doesn't die. Like, get a Steel Spike boost on it, get a Special Defense boost on it. It lives really well, and its recovery move isn't dependent on the weather either, so that's really nice for it too. And it can set Trick Room. I mean, it's a thing that it can do.
This team doesn't take advantage of Trick Room like when we saw Junebug. Was it Junebug's team?
Yeah, it was Junebug's of the Mudsdale.
The mid-spear Prince's team, where Prince's Mons were a little bit slower, so like they could take advantage of Trick Room better. These Mons are a little bit faster. And I think that the other teams are just going to have better Mons, like, if you do go into Trick Room with Porygon, because you're a little bit faster.
Also, like this team is faster, but it's not really fast,
you can also go down. You can also go download and max the Porygon. You get a special attack boost. It's a very, very bulky max attack.
That's true. Also, another theme of the last, 4 teams is, no good fake-out Mon. Which I feel is surprising. I don't know. I feel like a team like this also appreciates fake out.
Yeah, agreed.
Even I don't know if there's any lightning rod users, but you can fake out lightning user, which could be good for the Gyarados or even Moltres is also cool. Fake out protect the Porygon from a taunt. Also, oh yeah, that's one thing. One thing with Porygon too is if you are using it for Trick Room, it's taunt bait. You can taunt, shut it down, recover, Trick Room. It can't really do anything. If it doesn't have a download boost, it's really weak.
Yeah.
And I do like the fact how Gigalith or Extra can boost its stats, but you can easily outstyle a Porygon too if you have a taunt or any other move to stall it out. But the overall bulk on this team is really good. That's probably my best about this team.
Yeah, most of these Mons have above average bulk. It's just up to the typing to whether it'll get fucked up or not. Because rock is not a very bulky type in certain matchups, and neither is water flying. So it's just yeah. I think that I like the synergy between Excadrill and Gyarados, like you mentioned earlier, but and this does not really feel like a super great Silvally team. Silvally and Max is already hard enough to use as is, but on a team like this, it just it doesn't feel like it's doing a whole lot. Yeah, any type at once is nice, but I do like the lower tier picks though. I love Rapidash Galar, Fast Heal Pulses, not to be trifled with, and Altaria getting Cloud9 for other weather matchups, and Tailwind as well is good too. So I mean. He has 10 usable Mons, which I will say is good for the team.
Yeah.
He's got usable Mons. He's got max
I think
stats,
it's a bit attack oriented.
Yeah.
It lacks a bit of special offense without Moltres, which usually once it's max.
Mm-hmm.
At least you have I was gonna say the team could be a little bit weak to Intimidate, but you have Phalanx, I guess, which is a Mon.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the best Defiant user, but it does help. In prep, opponents have to respect it a little bit, so that's good.
Yeah, I mean, No Retreat is also a move that exists too. So No Retreat into Dynamax Phalanx. I don't think it gets very good max moves from what I can remember about it, but maybe it gets Max Steel Spike, Max Bug.
It does. It gets the basic max moves.
Yeah. So I mean. Yeah, I don't know. This team is not bad by any standards. I just think it's. I think there's missed opportunity with it. Is all.
So
and it definitely.
Thy team.
I say B. I feel like it's an overall pretty good team. It just, the stuff we said earlier. It's lacking some things, but it has threats. That's what a team needs.
Yeah, I like it more than the teams in B tier. But while like I'm looking at it, I like this team more than the B tier team. So I think it could be an A tier realistically, or the very top of B tier.
I think I like very top of B. I just don't think a lot of the Mons work together that well. Like, there's a lot of redundancies in the multiple ground immunities. The speed tiers are really awkward, and it just feels really weird.
I'd agree with top of B.
Yeah, top of B.
Sorry.
Cool.
Placed it. All right.
Perfect. Cool.
Now we're on to this one. The
Gigalith sucks. No.
All right. Well, we have the Pogging Porygons. I guess Panda.
Oh.
Want to go ahead and introduce this one?
Took my Marowak.
Oh,
Think.
rude.
Didn't think he had the Seismitoad, so I was like, all right. And I guess he took my advice because I was like, Coco Celestial is interesting with no Lightning Rod, and then he got Lightning Rod. So maybe I shouldn't have said anything.
True.
But,
That's on you.
Yeah, that is on me. But yeah, that is one thing interesting. Coco Celestial is it makes sense with the fantasy core, but you're also boosting electric moves on your own Celestial, which I think is interesting. But now you have Marowak and Seismitoad that kind of helps out with it, so it's a lot better supported than I thought it would be. So that's cool. But yeah, we already know what's going on. It's a Celestial team, so this team is definitely gonna get wins. I think it's pretty well supported. I was gonna say Pelipper is your only really form of Tailwind, which is not great, but you have a Drifloon, which also works. I think it's a nice little budget Tailwind mode you can have with Coco, which is pretty good. The rain mode's alright. I think Seismitoad is probably the best rain sweep you can have with the Celestial and Pelipper because it deals electric types. Trick Room mode it's pretty good. You've renewed with this. Marowak is really good on a Trick Room. It's one of my favorites. I guess the only thing about Marowak that's kind of weird is that you're boosting water types with your own rain. But if you have the right speed control for the Marowak, it can perform well. And I think this team has options for it to do all right. But I don't think it's the best Lightning Rod user for the team. That's my only thing I can say. But it's an overall pretty good team. So yeah.
I hate how Marowak is often item locked a lot of the time. Like, you're kind of forced to be thick club to basically do anything with it. But
True.
other than that, it's steal a rain,
What?
steal a lightning rod. the common cores we've seen of a recipe for success, just because of how broken Celesteela is. Coco and Drifloon is an okay core, I guess. Rheoneclus to go into Trick Room to kind of be a different mode. And a usable E tier and a usable fake out mon in E tier. Scraggy. Scraggy's going to come to a lot of games, I feel, because it does something very needed for this team with fake out, intimidate, and just being a pretty solid, like, bulky NFE.
Yeah.
Scraggy the GOAT.
This is a very solid team.
Like, it's got
This
max
mother-
options,
In a lot
it's
of
got
cases with
coverage.
a Stila team, I don't think you need fake.
And this motherfucker got Celestial Rain, Lightning Rod, Trick Room.
Yeah.
I don't really,
Annoying.
and fast
Annoying.
screens too with Coco. So like,
Yeah,
like what the fuck? Like what the fuck, man?
Do we
And
have our
this is
first
all-
S tier team? I think we do.
Celesteela went
Eight.
round 8. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty wild.
Steela went round 8, which is crazy. And
Yeah, no.
yeah, I'm
that's-
willing to
that's
just
something.
throw in the towel. This is the first S tier team we've seen.
Yeah, I feel like it's better than a lot of the A tiers by a margin. It's
Yeah,
really good.
it just checks all the boxes we needed to. Like, you got your speed control, you got intimidate and fake out. You have usable, like, Dynamax threats with Celesteela, Seismitoad, which are going to be your kind of main maxes. Not to mention Coco's pretty good at max too. So I'm a big fan of this squad that OC Frey has put together.
Yeah, Driftloon kind of a dub pickup because it can ally switch to help Coco avoid max Quack, which is nice. Or max
you-
or like poison type moves as well because Coco.
Why'd you give him ideas, man?
I
want
didn't
to
do
deal with ally switch.
OC Frey's going to use that right now.
Oh
Look
well.
out, Dale. He's going to ally switch you.
Oh my God.
Shit. Oops. Well, he probably already knew it, but yeah, this is an
Move it
S tier
along.
team. This
Yeah, very good
should
team.
beefy.
Yeah.
Who is next? Gengar.
Gengar,
Where is Spite and Shilling Gengar? I can't see. It's at the bottom. There we go.
the comfy team.
All right, this is a doozy.
We all know how I feel like comfy.
God, Comfey, the most like controversial mon as far as like topics of. So many
this.
talks about this stupid mon.
We had 4 discussions on moving it up or down. It was wild. But honestly,
So many votings.
comfy on this team is it's all right. I feel like I know I took his Moltres. That's what he wanted for the comfy, which I'm glad I took. Because Moltres comfy is still kind of annoying. It's a very annoying combo.
Mm-hmm.
For this team, it's providing support. I don't think it's providing support like as well as a Moltres team. They would appreciate it more. But weakness policy Garchomp's a thing. I guess even weakness policy Suicune. Except Suicune's damage is not like impressive, but I guess you have to, that is a threat you have to worry about. I really like the trick remote here. I just wish, like a lot of other teams, it doesn't have fake out. I feel like fake out
is
for the dust.
overrated, Panda. We've been over this.
I disagree.
You disagree? I feel like fake out is nice for the Dusknoir. Fake out's nice for the Blaze. Actually,
No. I disagree with what Spade said. I think fake out is not overrated. I think fake out is important.
I feel like fake out is needed for, especially for certain modes. Like, while Suicune can't get faked out, it's still going to get taunt, which is annoying because you really want Tailwind in a lot of cases, or even Calm Mind and stuff. It's always nice. Fake outs go for the Blaziken, so it gets speed boost. You get a free turn to get your speed boost up. You can get swords and stuff. You already had the redirection with Alex and stuff, I guess, but fake out is still good. I feel like it would be a nice piece on the team, but it has a lot of threats I do like. So, yeah.
I would ask JP what he thinks, but I don't think he's here.
Oh no,
Oh,
he pulled a me.
He
He's
muted.
gone.
Well, what do you think, Spins? Or chat now?
I missed your conversation. I went to go get a beverage. I said my piece of overrated fake out mons, and then I needed a beverage. So
this dude got 2 competitive mons.
Yeah.
They're both bad.
Like,
but
Garchomp
he's
and
got 'em.
Blaziken are intimidate food, so at least having like that support is nice. What I noticed, I think we picked it out at the mid draft. It looks like Suicune Comfey is going to be the main threat from this team.
Or weakness policy Mons, because I don't think weakness policy Garchomp is. I mean, you can do it, but I feel like the Suicune probably does more because it gets like Airstream. It gets gets those moves, those good max moves. That's not. I mean, Garchomp gets Max Quake, but no good form of speed control. So I feel like that's good.
Yeah, I actually think Comfey will be better at like breaking focus sashes or like picking things off that have been brought down really low by things like Dynamax, Vikavolt, things like Dynamax, Garchomp, Dynamax, Blaziken. Like Comfey is not really going to be proccing policies nearly as much, whereas it's just going to be like killing low HP mons.
Yeah. Articuno, I know like a lot of people don't like it, but I feel like we talk about competitive, it's a real good mon here for the Blaziken and Garchomp. The thing that's kind of weird in this team is, you have triple competitive, man, not double. You have Wigglytuff, Bolton, and Arcucci.
Power Wigglytuff.
Yeah. I guess the repetitive typings with the extra fairy type and the 3 electric types.
And only one of them is weak to ground.
Yeah. 3 electric types are a little bit weird here. I feel like that's like the weirdest thing about the team. But besides that, I kind of like the pieces. So, yeah.
Agreed. I think this team is solid.
Yeah.
I like a lot of the mons here.
And Gengar like has very good success with Dusknoir in doubles like VGC. He doesn't play a lot of VGC, but the one he won, Dusknoir was a big part of that team, so he's probably happy he got that. He's got both modes. He's got semi-fast with the slow Tailwind of Suicune, plus being able to max it with weakness policy of Comfey. Trick Room is looking great with Vikavolt, Dusknoir, and Boltund is always nice. The E tiers are a little lacking for me, but other than that, the top 8 very solid, and I think he can do a lot of damage with it. So,
Agreed.
Yeah.
I don't like Rotom E tier personally, but probably could have used something, found something a little more usable, but whatever.
All right, where shall we put this one?
I like an A.
Agreed.
I think it's an A tier team. Even with its repetitive typings, I feel like the ones that do well, and I think it's more than enough to put it at that level.
Yeah, it's solid.
Um,
All right, JP will be back, so you're gonna see this half split screen until he returns. But
that's fine.
regardless, Gengar with a
yeah.
solid team.
I like this team a little bit more than
I love the bulky water Suicune with Comfey to like actually give it damage from weakness policy. Like
I think I like it a little bit more. I think I like it a little bit more than like the 2 teams that are or the 3 teams that are above it.
Really? Huh.
I think this is like top of A tier, in all honesty. Just has like really good natural bulk and excellent speed control like everywhere on this team.
Mm-hmm.
Like Suicune could set up a Tailwind early game, and then Articuno could set up a Tailwind late game.
And
like
you got Boltund, which can nuzzle things.
Right,
Speed
I
control,
think this team,
speed control, damage control, and damage.
yeah,
He's got
I think
all.
he's not.
That's pretty
He's
good.
not really He's not really lacking in any one regards. Just like a couple of questionable pieces.
Those questionable pieces kind of work.
I mean, yeah, they're just the E tier picks, so whatever.
Right.
Don't really think he needed either of them, but
Well,
you could do worse.
He'll live with the 8-mon team, and maybe Wigglytuff makes an appearance, and we all go crazy.
Nah.
I am gonna sit out for this next one, so you all can go ahead.
Is it you?
It is me.
Okay, I'll introduce this shit then.
Wow.
Go ahead, blow the team up.
You. I did.
This team is very good. Metagross is broken. Spectrier is broken. Randabuzz is really hard to kill. Tapu Bulu is fucking garbage, but it can set terrain, I guess. Swampert's okay. Not my favorite bulky water, but it's like a decent max option on a team that's pretty anti-grass for the most part. There's just like not a lot of like need to run grass moves on this against this team, so like Swampert really thrives off of that. Really like Salazzle, fast fake out with like good support. Like I'm not sure exactly what support it gets, honestly. Like maybe fake tears.
Correct.
But yeah, it's like good intimidate with Luxray. I love Luxray, and you know Como is not as good in Max, but it still does stuff. You have like lots of different sets that you still need to worry about with it. And then 2 usable E tiers. I think that this team is like fantastic, honestly. What do you think, JP? Now that you're back.
Nice.
Yeah, I do think this is one of the best teams we have overall, probably. Just Metagross Spectre Repair can wreck teams on its own. Like, I think it will be very top heavy, like you can bring the same, basically top 6 months. Well, maybe Mandibus is not an every match bring. Maybe Luxray comes a bit much. Como, I don't like really much. Like, dying to a Dazzling Gleam on a doubles format just sucks. Or also any flying moves.
I think when you have a Metagross and a Salazzle to deal with those fairy types, it's not as huge of a problem, that double fairy type weakness.
True. I still don't really like the Como overall, but the rest of the months really solid. Oh, as you said, the E tiers can be bred, but with how good the rest of the squad is, I don't think they will come really often.
Yeah, that's fair.
You're better off bringing Swampert than Sharpedo, I think, in most games.
Yeah, I think the Sharpedo pick is a little bit weird when you already have a Swampert and a Dark type already. But I feel like for, it's an E tier, so you can still do something, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's an E tier and it does damage and it can be relatively fast. So like it's just like there's not a whole lot in E tier to offer, and the fact that this mon like does something, even if it's a little redundant on this team, I think it's still fine. I'm not super huge on the fact that there's not like a super well defined trick room mode with Metagross. I think Metagross with Bulldoze is obviously like the best way to use it, but a lot of the times like Dynamax Metagross under Trick Room can be equally dangerous, and the fact that this team is like lacking that mix up. Like yes, you have Dottler, but Dottler can't really proc Metagross's policy in any way.
Does it
So
not get Bodos or anything?
no,
Any dark move?
just a fucking stupid little bug. That's all.
Oh, that's bug.
But yeah, the fact that there's no mix up with regards to the Metagross being able to work under Trick Room or work with Bulldoze / Tailwind off of Mandibuzz. I think that's like the one thing this team is missing. Otherwise, it's got fantastic options, just like all around.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like max option is solid. Your fast mode is solid. Just trick room would be nice, like a better trick room option, I guess. But besides that, I don't really have any complaints with the team.
Yeah, I don't think every team needs like a trick room option. Like, as long as you can kill the opposing trick room.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
You have some ways. You have some great ways to wall out trick room with It's a really bulky team actually with the Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz will hold most trick room mons and setters. And the Spectre to kill them, of course, and you Swampert with Yawn support. So you have some great ways of bulk and denying that. So yeah, not a huge deal.
Agreed. This is an S tier team, by the way. Probably better than OC Frey's team, in my opinion. Like the top of S tier.
I think I like OC Frey's team more. Like
I do like OC. I like OC Frey's team a little bit better with them. I think OC Frey just has more modes, I feel, in my opinion. But this team is still good.
I'm okay with
this is usually S tier anyway.
All right, well, yeah, I still think regardless it's an S tier team, whether it's above OC Frey or not. Not really important. They got the two most broken Dynamax options in this format, so it kind of makes sense that they're both up there.
Yeah.
What do you know? Steel types as max options, really good.
Yeah, for real.
Never would have thought.
Nobody, apparently. The six motherfuckers who the 7 motherfuckers who let Celestial drop down to 8 didn't think so, apparently.
Metagross too. Metagross being this low is also pretty surprisring. It's a pretty good mon as well.
No, I'm not one to complain.
True, you benefit.
It was on my list of mons.
Right, let's move it right along, shall we?
Yep.
I haven't talked in a while. I'll go ahead and give my piece. Not just because there's a Tapu Fini there, but...
No, that's exactly why. We know that. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Tapu Fini is your wife, and you can talk about her. It's fine.
Yes, and we've had a very long-distance relationship, okay? It's very emotional.
It's fine.
Okay.
We haven't seen each other so long. Leave me be.
Go ahead, big guy. This is all you. This is your chance.
Tapu Fini, Zapdos, and then there's a Drifblim as well. Already very excited to see those 3 mons together. I actually liked using Zapdos with the Misty Seed itself with it, but Drifblim is always very good with that seed as well. But of all the mons here, I want to focus on, I hate to say it because I always do this, but Durant in a max format is a lot better than than usual, I would say. Like Durant in prior gens, I think was really bad because you wanted to run Hustle most of the time and it would miss.
Right.
But whenever you have 109 speed, which is above average for speed, and you have that ability with 109 attack, you're going to do some damage. A lot of damage. And I think this is the team to make Durant shine because you have one of the best water types to God damn it, I can't speak.
Is fire switching or deal fire
Like,
types?
it's compatible, if that makes sense. I can't think of the actual word. They combo together, essentially. Like, you have
Yeah,
a
they
really
do.
good fire resist in Tapu Fini, so that you don't care as much of Durant. Now, that is an issue, too. The fire weakness is real. But I still think Durant is a much better Pokemon than a lot of people give it credit for. And I like it on this team, specifically. Although, if you bring Durant, you're maxing it. That's just how it goes. But this team does have great max options. Zapdos, in particular, I had my eye on myself. I really like Zapdos in Series 9 draft, being a good bulky airstreamer that does tons of damage in the process.
Nah, I hate Durant. That shit's bad.
God damn, you hate every mon, man.
I don't like it.
He hates
I do
every
like.
non-Thievul Pokemon.
Hey, easy now. I like Fini Zapdos. I think that those are two very excellent A tiers. I don't know if you touched on the Fini with Unburden Driftblim, because I went to go grab some chocolate while you were talking, and I don't know. Fini Driftblim feels a little bit weird on the Misty Terrain team, just because like it can't burn things, but otherwise it's like just still a really good mon most of the time. I'm not sure if there's any. Yeah, Morgrem gets Sucker Punch, so you have like Sucker Punch policy Drifblim to worry about with base 90 base 90 power max airstream off of Gust, I guess. Yeah, the team is fine. It's just like I personally think that it's like a good team. I like the low tier mons. I think Rapidash is fantastic low tier value for what it does. And the only piece I just don't really like is Durant, but that's just because I don't think Durant is that good. But I could be proven wrong. So, and I have been wrong before sometimes.
I also think Togepi's not doing much here overall. Like, because you really like to work with some couples. Like Togepi can work just as a one-time follow me user. You usually want it to set up Trick Room or I don't know, or Tailwind or as an attacker.
Yeah.
But I don't think in this team you need that since the attacking mons are so bulky, or you have more support that it's better than Togepi for them. So I don't think it's the best team for the Togepi. But I think maybe pairs with Ran, it can wreck some teams if they are not prepared.
True.
Togepi is okay here. I think it's not needed, but it is nice for your 4 times week mon like Durant and Executor. With Executor, you can set up like free Trick Room because your only reliable fake out user here is Morgrem, and someone else can figure that out, and then you can kill the Executor. With Togepi, at least, you can live a hit and set a free Trick Room and have Tapu Fini in the back, maybe. It's not the best Trick Room abuser, but it's something. I think my favorite part of this team is the Tapu Fini, Mamo, and Zapdos. I think those cover each other really well. You can spam, you can even run Telepathy Fini and spam Earthquake next to that and Zapdos, which is kind of cool. Only thing I don't like about this team is there's no like rock resist. Max Rockfall can be a little bit scary. You do have ways to deal with rock types, but rock coverage in general. Even Togepi, you carry Dark Rock Slide. Yeah, it can be a little scary move, but besides that, I like the team.
True.
I mean, you got good max options,
fine
and
team.
you have Morgrem with screens to make your bulky mons even bulkier.
Yeah, that's a way to counteract
I
that.
see Zapdos is going to be the main Dynamax target, at least what I predict.
Yeah. Zapdos with like fake tears, Morgrem, that shit's gonna go crazy.
Yeah, it does go crazy.
But yeah, good team overall.
I think it's non-biased towards the Fini. I think A tier is solid for him.
I mean, I was gonna say either A
Yeah.
either way. Yeah, A is fine.
I like
Yeah,
this team
true.
a lot.
It's him.
All right.
Also, the coach is smart and sexy.
Of
So
course.
true.
Fucking Dale.
All right. Who's after Dale? Was it Quick? I think it was Quick.
Yes, it is quick.
All right. Quick with the Entei, Primarina, Sableye, Bronzong.
Don't
Dale
let me talk
Moons.
about this team.
Okay.
Don't let me
Okay.
talk.
We'll
No,
let you.
they-
We'll
but
go
they
ahead
know-
and mute you then.
Okay, that's fine.
I can speak for Chad about
Okay.
Eric. How did the fuck he get? Why did we move down Premium to B tier? He was the one. He was like, he was the one that suggested it, and it actually worked. It made no sense. B tier is.
You did it.
It's annoying. It's annoying how Premium is B tier here. I don't know. I mean, it's a good mon, but it pairs nice with the Sableye. I think Sableye kind of carries his Premium Entei here. The weirdest thing about this team, I think, is the Hail mode. I don't think is needed. I don't like Hail. Well, I think Hail's okay, but when your best Hail user is Beartick, I have some questions. I feel the first 4 pieces plus the Bronzong are my favorite parts of the team. And besides that, I'm a little bit skeptical on other things. But yeah.
This team feels very bulky.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a lot of bulk. It lacks a bit of... Well, it doesn't have that many attacking options, but with that bulk, you can just whittle down the opposing team.
I have Forbidden Tech, Aqua Jet Beartick into Weakness Policy Entei. Don't let it be you. Don't let it be you. Don't be the guy who loses to that. Don't be the person who loses to Weakness Policy Entei with Aqua Jet Beartick.
Or the person who loses to Ice Shard into Butterfree.
Ice Shard Delman.
Weakness policy.
Yeah.
Max Weakness Policy Butterfree.
Yeah. Otherwise, this team is very based. I like this team. Very good pieces. I'm a big fan of Bronzong. Even though I have friends who use it and who have used it and don't like it, I still think Bronzong is good. Butterfree is fucking obnoxious with, like Rage Powder, Sleep Powder, and Tailwind. I think that the combination of that 3, like Butterfree is like an extremely good mix-up option, like because it has the option to, Dynamax or I guess Gigantamax and Befuddle you, and then you get both your Pokemon put to sleep, and you're very sad. But I think that the Delibird pick is like a little bit wasted here. I feel like the E tier could have really been something different, because I mean you already have two ice types, and like Dynamax Delibird is with Hustle. It's just not a real thing. It's like not something that's very scary.
Fuck Delibird, man.
Flygon is cool. I think Flygon is pretty okay, low tier value. Good max moves with Max Quack and Max Dragon. But yeah, I mean this team it has pretty good stuff. You have Redirection, you have a Weather mode, you have Trick Room for Primarina and Delmise. Couple of mons that you could Shadow Sneak Policy proc here with like Max Bronzong if you wanted to, or Max Delmise. With like Shadow Sneak Sableye. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the team is fine. I don't know how well it like ties in together as like a complete team, but there are like good aspects of this team. I'm just not sure how well they like pair together with each other.
Yeah, it seems like there's not as much type diversity here. I see a lot of ice types, I see a lot of flying types and ghost types. And the type chart doesn't actually look that impressive to me with your massive ghost, and there's 6 to 3 in your fire.
Yeah, the synergy here is a little weird.
And in fact, 2 in the rock.
Yeah. It's a little rough on that. Your best rock resist is Bronzor, which is good, but you're relying a lot on the Bronzong and the Sableye here, in my opinion. Bronzor for your slow mode and Sableye to help out, Quash and stuff.
Just
but
be annoying.
Yeah, if you get rid of the annoying mons, I feel like this team's a little bit easy to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that Vanillux is like the hail setter that can work without a
setter,
a hail sweeper.
I
think because like it was just so much stronger than the other hail setters, right? Like it's like 110. I mean, Abomasnow has like 90s, Aurora has like 90s, and Ninetales just like serves a completely different role as a hail setter. But like Vanillux really stands on its own because it's so strong, and the stab ice moves are really strong. You don't really need like another hail sweeper to pair with it, I think. So
the Beartick is not that good here.
And it's kind of redundant on this team.
I think redundant
so.
is the best word to describe this team as
You-
far as
you
typings,
don't-
roles, and overall, just I guess how the team works.
3 ice types is not something you really want on a team, I feel.
No.
True.
As well.
But
This is-
Entei,
I think-
Marina, and Bronzong are very solid, along with Sableye and Delmise.
And
Yeah.
Butterfree. I think
Yeah.
Butterfree's really good too.
Yeah, can't really complain too much about it.
Yeah, agreed. Just again, like some other teams, some missed opportunity there, but at least this one has good fake out, so can rest easy.
Where are we putting the star of Dallas Duraludons?
This feels like epitome B tier to me.
I feel like
I
it's similar to Quick's team, in my opinion. I feel like it's like C.
Oh, you think it's C?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't know. It's similar to Prince's team. I'm not. Yeah, it was Prince, right? Yeah, it was Prince's
Yeah.
team. Like with the overweight, the weaknesses they stack up. Like Prince was struggling with the ice types, right?
Yeah.
With this team, you do not like a rock. You don't like fire, really. So I feel like that really stacks up, and it makes it, hard to deal with. So that's my opinion.
All right, I'm gonna go in the middle and put it in B because I think it does have good pieces, but the weaknesses are there and present. So
Yeah.
I think B is solid for this squad.
This feels like definitely bottom of B tier though.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I don't know who was 13, so I'm gonna need help.
It's Pro Horse.
Hexagon.
Hexagon
Head.
Head, aka
Yeah, and
Pro
Bird Knuckle.
Horse.
A man who got sniped like 8 times
1
this
billion
draft.
times.
Poor guy. I took his body.
So he rebounded from the first pick Charizard.
Yeah. He did. I don't know. I feel like the Charizard first pick is the one that might have messed him up, really, because you have to really support this Charizard really well. And while you do have a Sun mode, I feel like Charizard's kind of hard to work with when you don't have a lot of great support. Which, beside the Clefable, I feel like the Clefable is probably my favorite part of the team because it ties in with the Salamence, and you have as you can see, you have a lot of setup mons. You can even run Belladrum Zard, I guess that's a thing. Dragonite, Salamence, Sworvins, Terrakion, Shell Smash, Omastar, even Belladrum, Lanoon. I feel like the Clef is the best part about this team. But for a first pick Zard and trying to build around it, I don't think he was able to do the best because of all the snipes, of course, not his fault. But I feel like that did hinder him a little bit. But for the setup options, I feel like Clef really ties the team together. So that's a good thing.
I think as a B tier, start makes some sense. It's definitely top of the B tiers in terms of what it can do to destroy opposing teams. So I think it did make sense to take it as a first pick. Just maybe it did not support it well enough. Ninetales is good but they do share the same speed tier, so it's a bit wacky in that sense, that pair.
But you do get to choose which one you want to go first and which one you want to go second, though. That kind of gives you a lot of freedom in that regard. You don't have to run 100 speed, max speed every week, because of just how the draft works. So he gets to pick and choose if he wants Ninetales to go first or Charizard to go first.
But if you're facing something that is as well 100 speed tier, then you don't know which one is going to move first, which can come with a bit of an issue.
Yeah, or you just have to accept that you're going to be slower than whatever your
maybe.
opponent's base 100 is.
Yeah.
Tailwind would be real nice in this team. Some kind of tailwind. Relying only at max airstream is not the best, especially when your airstream users are weak 4 times to either ice or rock. Could be an issue.
I think Salamence could still win.
No,
It
it
does
used
not.
to.
Nah, it used to. It would be great here.
So his
Tailwind
speed control
Salamence.
is next to his flying types, Bulldoze, Doug Trio.
Or Electroweb, Togedemaru, or Nuzzle Togedemaru.
Also,
Yeah.
but you're asking a lot for those mons. This, I feel like Tailwind. I guess your only other form you got Trick Room, I guess, but your mons are so fast you can't abuse the Trick Room. So
Dude,
I feel like-
Aladios would go crazy on this team.
Oh,
or
I wonder,
Latios.
wonder who has that.
I wonder what happened there.
Yeah, that shit would have gone
Oh.
crazy, bro. Fast
Would've been great,
Tailwind,
like, yeah.
good
Oof.
dragon type. That shit would have been good. He should have picked it.
Really, honestly. Wonder who.
All right, where do we want to put this team? I think we've said a good share.
I think it's a B tier team. I think he was able to get the threats. He was able to, but wasn't able to get like as much support beside the Clefable. But I feel like the team would be nice with some tailwind and stuff, and it can work a little better. But I think B tier.
Agreed.
He's got good threats, and like they can run away with the game.
Yeah, I
It's
feel
just
like
he needs to get there.
Salamence and Zard can easily snowball games if his opponents aren't prepared for it. So I feel like that definitely makes it a B tier.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
who was after Pro Horse? Was it Bardo? I think it was Bardo.
Bardo
Yeah.
with Colossal.
Oh no! Now we're gonna have this
Controvert-
conversation again.
It's me. This
Yeah.
is gonna be a controversial one. Who wants to start off with it?
We talk about
Yeah,
it
I
every time Colossal comes on the screen. Every single power rankings you ever see anywhere, you see a Colossal, and it's immediate like,
Yeah.
damn it.
I mean, honestly,
But this time
Ah.
there's no Dragon Bolt. It's the
Yeah.
baby form.
Dracloak.
which is
Dracloak moment.
Dracloak is
I mean-
not terrible.
Yeah, to be fair, it's like one of the better surf mons. It's like it is value in E tier, which is good. Always good to get that. And there's like multiple things to surf next to. I mean, you can surf next to Cole. You can surf next to fucking Cradilly.
Ideally,
For storm drain stuff, which is cool, I guess. And Dracloak does hit an important speed tier of being able to outspeed like base 100s, which is nice.
Is really odd.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool, but I think that this is like kind of a Thunderous team with a Colossal mix-up, and I'm not exactly sure how I feel about that. Because I mean, if you think about it, you have like pretty good ways to support like offensive Dynamax Thunderous with Grimmsnarl screens, with Intimidate Fake Out, with like a fast water type that can help like deal with rocks and whatnot. But Thunderous typically does like to have like a real fire type, and Colossal is not a real fire type. Colossal is a setup boss monster more than it is like a fire type that Dynamax Thunderous would like to have on the team. So in that regards, he did fall a little bit short, but I think that the team is okay. There's some really questionable picks on this team. Like I
triple
think
dark
that
type.
Scrafty and Grimmsnarl are really good dark types and that they're fine in this role, but like what's the point of Absol?
Yes.
Like everything Absol does, Grimmsnarl does better. Like Sucker Punch with Super Luck or whatever.
Power.
Grimmsnarl can Sucker Punch too, and it's like almost as strong. So
Also a
like,
decent max option, I guess.
yeah, it's like whatever. Berserker is bad. I stand on that hill and I'll die on it.
You're allowed.
I like Cradilly. I think Cradilly is fine. Storm Drain is pretty important to have against other water types, and it kind of fills the role that like a Gastrodon would fill on Colossal teams.
Doesn't Snipe Shot ignore Storm Drain, if I
Correct.
remember correctly? Or it was something.
Mhm.
I don't
It
remember.
ignores redirection.
Not
It
for
might-
direction.
So that's good here. I honestly
Yeah.
like the Cradilly here better than Colossal. Like I think we said, someone said it earlier. I don't think this is a Colossal team. Really, it's a team with a Colossal on it, so it means you have to prep for it. But I don't think it supports it super
All
well.
I'll say is I'm glad he took Colossal from the Dragapult.
Yeah, honestly, but if they did trade, if the other team has Volk, right? If this team had a Volk and they traded Mons, I feel like it would be a little bit better for, both teams, of course. But yeah, I don't like the Cole. Cole's weird in this team, but everything else is all right. I feel, beside Absol.
I also think he'd need like a a good standalone max mod, so that because I think with this team, Thunderous is like locked into being offensive. Like you already have Green Snow, so there's not much
Yeah.
of a point going Prankster Thunderous. So he didn't do like that well of a job of getting another max option that isn't
I
Colossal.
mean,
or Thunderous.
Inteleon counts, I guess. You have to screen support it,
Yeah.
but it's his max options are both fairly frail, even with screens. A more reliable max option could be nice. I mean, I guess Cordelia's there. Cordelia's a decent max option. You always support it.
It's just like all of his max options besides just like Dynamax Thunderous, just like they require setup of some sort. Like even Inteleon with the base 160 water move, like it's strong when it crits, but like that requires setup in the form of your item. Like Credelia requires a Storm Drain or Meteor Beam boost. Colossal requires the Steam Engine Policy boost to do damage. Like Thunderous is a Thunderous team in my opinion, and it has Colossal on it, which is fine. But I think that maybe look for something a little more productive than Absol, maybe Berserker as well. I don't know. I don't think Berserker is very good.
It
but
looks like he wanted to build out with Masharna like towards the end of the draft. So maybe he could go with something more in the lines of the Trick Room. Like Berserker, I guess, fits that, but Absol, I am agreeing with you, is kind of redundant. So maybe
I'm not even sure if Musharna is like a particular. Like I know it's a good Trick Room setter. It's obnoxious with like Yawn and stuff, but I don't think it gets any waste proc policy on Colossal under TR. So
probably not. So maybe something that can do that. So like, I actually don't know. I do know of one E tier that could do the Colossal procking things. And I'll tell
I guess it can. I actually didn't realize that it gets Rock Tomb. So Rock Tomb for Colossal under Trick Room is like not a bad option. So I mean, yeah, maybe I guess it's not bad for that then because it does get it. So I don't know. That actually makes me like the team a little bit more, honestly. So yeah, I think get rid of some of your more redundant pieces. Like even Berserker can stay because it has Fake Out, but you have better Fake Out mods. So like whatever. Yeah, this is a fine team. I actually kind of disagree with Panda on this one. I think that this is a team that plays around a better Pokemon than Colossal, but still has ways to make Colossal work. So,
well, I mean, I didn't say it was a bad team. I just said I don't like the Colossal.
Oh, well, I like the Colossal on this team.
That's fair.
So
I like everything but the
Colossal.
Colossal.
So we're not C for Colossal then?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. I want to know where JP. I want to know where JP would put this team on the tier list.
Is he still here?
Yeah, I think so.
Hello, JP.
Yeah, actually.
Perfect.
It kind of died. I think we can go B. I'm okay with that.
Here, can you not hear me?
Oh, now we.
No,
can.
You were a little
Perfect.
laggy. What you said earlier? It's kind of laggy.
Hello.
Oh no. Oh, hopefully. I don't know where he went.
Oh, whatever. I think this is a B tier team.
Yeah, I think B is fine. I just threw it. We're just in B tier. We can order them later. Alright, next up we have Odie and the Celadon City Jolteons. And we see the Urshifu single strike. A very common piece for him.
Classic.
But now we got the other horse to talk about. We talked about the Ghost Horse. Now we have the Ice Horse, which is a mod that whenever I saw this series, it was Series 7, I thought Glastrier would be an absolute stud. It really hasn't grown out to be that stud, but it's still quite powerful.
Yeah, Glacier is a good mon, but for this team, it's kind of weird with I don't know. Like I feel like for Glacier, you either go you want like a really good Trick Room setter with Glacier, and I think Carbink is good value for it, but like I don't know. The Trick Room mode's a little bit lacking with the Glacier, but it doesn't feel like a Glacier team. It feels more like you got the fast mode with the Urshifu, Torn, and Zerk. and then the slow mode's kind of like lacking. I guess you have to beside the Glastrier, you know. So, my thoughts.
Yeah. Oh, he keeps leaving and joining the call. Funny.
Jades or JP?
He will be
JP.
back one day. But
okay.
Meowstick is a Trick Room setter as well. It's not a good one, but it's like
Not a very good one.
Yeah.
Don't put
a
that
lot
on
of
the
mid-speed mons, but Torn T having the Tailwind, I like quite a bit.
It's fast Glastrier and Tailwind.
Oh,
No,
yes,
that doesn't exist.
Oh, so nice. You go throw a scarf on it too.
Yeah,
Super
honestly.
fast.
Or yeah, I don't know. Glastier's weird in this team. I like everything else though. I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this team could have used like a. I mean, this is the team that could have used the Faramosa, but this team could have also used like a Ribombi, because Ribombi does the something very similar to Faramosa in the sense that it
Speed swap,
clicks,
and you can't fake it
quick
out.
speed swap. Yeah, and it's nice for that too. So like Glastrier, like if you're not gonna do hard Trick Room with Glastrier or have like a prominent Trick Room mode with Glastrier, then like at least give it speed swap. But this team didn't do that either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't really like any of the TR setters, which really kind of and there's no redirection, so it's like really kind of limits what Glastrier can do. Otherwise, I mean, there's some good picks on here. I like Xurkitree. I like the tree. Like I think someone mentioned I like the quadrio of Single Strike, Meowstick, Torn T, and Xurkitree. I think that there's a lot of power there, and
Yep.
good utility out of them. So.
Yeah, it's when the best Trick Room setter is base Porygon. I think that it's a little weird. your max options, I think the horse is still fine outside of Trick Room as a max option because of just how insanely bulky this thing is, which is nice. And that's honestly
I feel like your most consistent max option here might be the Torn T.
Yeah,
with the mouse stick
I'm not a
support.
fan of these max options.
Because the Glastrier is okay. Glastrier is definitely the best max option if you have in the right scenario. But I feel like the team will struggle with setting Trick Room up with your options here. Because Glastrier is a weird mon. It really needs a Trick Room to survive.
I kind of think y'all are sleeping a little bit on like Max Xurkitree. Honestly, I think Max Xurkitree is like.
Because you lost to it earlier doesn't mean we're considering.
I didn't lose to Max Xurkitree, but I think that Max Xurkitree is good. I mean, you have the Tailwind for the speed control, you have the screens for the bulk, and you have like a physical like heavy hitter. I mean, it's like kind of perfectly supported on this team to like do what it does best. It can just click really strong moves. And it has pretty much the perfect coverage. Like between Electric, Fairy, and Grass, I don't think there are a whole lot of types that can resist all three of those. So like just like a lot of I guess Strike as well if you want to count like Hyper Beam. But yeah, I mean, I think that there are a lot of questionable picks on this team. Nobody has talked about Vaporeon yet, which just kind of shows how bad Vaporeon really is. I don't think Vaporeon's good budget bulky water.
I mean, yeah, Vaporeon's a little bit weird here, but I guess as a bulky water, it's okay with Yawn, and I guess it pairs well with the Glass, kind of, as a fire resist. But yeah, it's a kind of a strange one. I agree.
We're using Gmax Centiferno. I figured it out.
Yes.
We're gonna trap people.
Yeah. I guess Synthesis Squash it's also another max option.
And you do have Max Airstream with Rotom Fan, so like he does have max options.
Yes.
Synthesis Squash is based.
Rotom Fan, I feel like, is a little bit weird here. When you already have Circuitry and Torn, I don't think the Rotom Fan is necessary, but yes, it is a max option.
Not a fan of it. I gotcha.
Yes.
It just don't add anything that this team already has. Like I guess that like it is a ground immunity, but like Xurkitree deals with ground types better than Rotom does because it just fucking blasts them with max overgrowth. So like Rotom can't really do that.
Yeah.
All right, where are we feeling this team?
It's too incomplete. I honestly like this team in like high C tier
Yeah. I
over
would agree.
Prince's
I think
team.
There's a lot of holes that are glaring for it.
There is a quadrio of Mons that I think are really fucking good, and then the rest of the team just kind of feels weird.
The
So
first 5 Mons here are pretty solid, I think, for the team. I guess Vaporeon too, but I don't like the Glass Sphere on this team. As weird as it is to say, it's not supported as well as it should be, I think.
Yeah.
agreed.
But I hope
Yeah.
I'm proven wrong because I love Glastrier.
Yeah, I think Glastrier is cool, but
It is
yeah, just
cool.
not well supported. Not
It's cool.
no
You know
good.
what I mean.
No trick room, no speed swap, so just need some help. And I get your pun. I'm just not really acknowledging it.
I'll acknowledge it makes him feel worse.
Well, no, the idea is to make you feel worse about it.
Damn it.
Okay.
All right. So
It's funny
Miss
how we
Lady
covered.
Lilac is next.
She wanted to join the crew
Oh God.
with JP gone.
Wait, what?
That's up to you. That's up to you, Spades. You're the host, but
Wait, what? What did she say? Oh yeah, she can join. I don't care.
Replace
Hop on in.
JP real quick.
Yeah.
We got a new guest star.
Breaking guests immediately.
Yeah, since we have to switch up.
And since she can see this chat, I don't have to do anything.
thanks, JP. We appreciate you being a part of it while you could be. I know your internet fucked up, but we really appreciated your input on the teams, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the PRs for as much as you watch it. So, and also to the viewers in there, we really appreciate having you here as well. You guys make the content worth it, so thanks a lot. Now let's talk about Lilac's team because she doesn't get to talk about it.
Well, now we can talk shit about it like right in front of her.
Real.
Not Lilac,
Alright.
I'm JP, but prettier.
Okay. I don't know.
You gotta-
JP's pretty. He's pretty pretty. So.
They sound like JP.
I mean, JP's a ball guy. Like,
True.
Yeah, guys,
Yeah, at least we don't have two ball guys anymore. There's three real profile pictures here.
guess I'll
Hell
just
yeah.
leave now.
Kick him off his own stream.
True.
Okay, let's start this.
I'll start this. You started like the last 5, Panda, so I got you.
Yeah, no, I wasn't trying to start. You take it over.
No. You stepped up in a fantastic
just
way, but
excited,
I
you
got you.
Thank you.
So this is a team, and it has like lots of options covered when you look at it, like at face value. Like it has Intimidate, it has complete cores. You have a complete Fire, Water, Grass. You have a complete you have a complete Fantasy core, I believe, with a Steel and a Fairy being the same mon. Good, just like good Dark type, good like tech options there. You have Fast Tailwind as well as Prankster T-Wave and Fast Icy Wind off of Sneasel. So really good like fast speed control options here. And you have like good non-max burst damage as well, like Urshifu obviously being the biggest example of that. But then you have like other mons like Aerodactyl, who has relatively powerful dual wing beat. And I guess like you can like Crawdaunt with like Aqua Jet, or Sneasel with Triple Axle does surprising damage. But the thing I don't love about this squad, and we talked about this before when we did like the mid draft analysis, like this team didn't really change its fundamental problem where the Dynamax options, they need to be set up in order to excel. And that's like kind of a problem with me.
I mean,
when
the
I'm,
mons
like,
that
looking at it.
once they're set up, they're good, and they're not that hard to set up. Gudra's obviously the most like the easier one to set up because it doesn't take much for it to get to where it needs to be. Arcanine needs a little bit extra help, but other than that, are you maxing Crawdaunt? Are you maxing Roserade? Aerodactyl? That's where the issues are. Are you maxing Urshifu Rapid Strike?
Yeah, the max options are a little strange, but without the setup. But I'm looking at some of the sets. Arcanine has base 110 attack, so even without beat up, it can be decent. And you have screens to support it, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I like the bulk of the team. Gudra, Arcanine. Arcanine and Gudra actually pair really well together because Gudra has not the best defenses. So I think Intimidate support's pretty good with it.
Plus the screens for both of them as well.
Yeah. So I really like the first 4 picks right here really pair well with each other. Urshifu, Rapid Strike, doesn't like grass types, and you got Arcanine and Gudra, which are really good versus that. But yeah, for max options, your best max option here, I feel, is Arcanine and Gudra, which is not typical, but with the right setup, it can work. But like you guys said earlier, it needs a setup to do really well. So, yeah.
I like the fast Tailwind, though. Aerodactyl feels like a mon that could just, like, come out the back next to your setup Dynamax option, click Tailwind, and then it's, like, really game over at that point. So that's a good pickup that I like.
Yeah, I like it a lot, too. Especially being, like, kind of a ground immunity, which your grass type wasn't offering for you, is really huge. So Aerodactyl is a very welcome piece to this team. It really needed something in that role.
Urshifu also appreciates Tailwind.
I like this team. Like this team would fuck in a non-max format, but unfortunately, this is not a non-max format. So like my gripes with it still stand. However, I think it's like like I said, it has like pretty much all the things you would want with like Fake Out. No anti-trick room measures really, which is kind of a bummer considering that the team doesn't love playing in Trick Room. So
you just play the bulky game then. That's all.
Yeah, she's gonna have to like just like approach those matchups a little differently.
You have ways to deal with it. You have Taunt and Sneasel, you have Sleep Powder, Roseray, but out Vulcan is probably the best way.
Yeah, and this team has all the tools for it, so I think that salvages enough of that. But God, the Dynamax option being solely Gudra and maybe Arcanine.
Yeah. I think I still like the team. I just think it's a little predictable with the max options and setup, but still pretty solid in my opinion.
But you could run Aqua Jet Urshifu with Policy Dynamax Aerodactyl.
You like 50 tier Aerodactyl? Yeah.
All right. Where do we like this team?
Well, I don't like that it has a useless E tier in the form of Dragonair, so
Dragonair can Aqua Jet the Aerodactyl.
Oh, does it still get Aqua Jet? I thought Dragonair was still
Aqua Jet. I know that. So
I honestly like it in B. I think it's okay in B.
It gets Aqua Jet, it gets Breaking Swipes, it gets Dragon Tail.
Okay. Those are moves that Pokemon does get.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah, it's like a good I think I like it more than the Beedrill's team, from what I can remember about the Beedrill's team.
You like it more than the Beedrill's team?
Yeah.
Well,
I like it more than Bardo's team.
End, but...
Which one is Bardo's team?
The Colossal
team. I like this team better than Bardo's team. If we were supposed to.
Sure. I think that's like a good spot for this team.
All right, we'll mix it up as we go. But the next one, Lilac, since you so kindly joined, you get to talk about this next one.
Oh shit!
Your favorite.
I like how this works out perfectly.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Which team's the next one?
Shenandoah Sun Warriors.
So this team, they had a really boring first pick actually within DDF. I couldn't it's like on the list of uninteresting first picks. That's pretty high. But it's a good mon. It gets Follow Me, and Zapdos G is a pretty big threat. It definitely does damage. It definitely can hit things in Click Max Airstream, which is more than some people's teams can say, like mine. You can see that he spent a D tier just to make sure that he wins versus OC Frey. Depending on how the matchup draw plays out, that could be valuable. It could not be. There's a Thievul on the team, which is not surprising. Raichu Alola without electric terrain. I mean, it gets it's a fake up mon and stuff, so it gets utility. It's fast. I think it's fake tiers and stuff too. Lots of, I guess, lots of attempts at value from, lots of value in the lower tiers, really. Like, Fletchling can come in, click Tailwind, and then die, or maybe Will-O-Wisp. Definitely kind of feels like there's a major burden on Zapdos G to deal damage, because, like, Araquanid can deal damage with its water stabs thanks to its ability, and like Heatran definitely has 130 special attack, but it requires some like finessing to like maneuver those mons past their weaknesses. And there's not like Runerigus is like a fine Trick Room setter, and then Araquanid can be like good in Trick Room, but like. If you're going that route, you kind of lose some like the offensive support I think you'd otherwise want to use. Like Thievul does not function well in Trick Room. Even like Raichu Alola doesn't really like function well in Trick Rooms. Like a lot of like your damage amplifiers that might otherwise help these Pokemon like hit the thresholds they need in terms of damage don't work so well in that mode. Heatran, it's more favorable. Like a mon that really appreciates Helping Hand and Fake Tears and all that stuff. As long as you can maneuver it past its crippling weakness to ground. Jesus, Mav. Yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, I think...
What the hell did Mav just say?
He's fucking wilding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Carry on. Nothing to see here.
But yeah, I mean, overall, like, the team's got, like, a wealth of support options, which is probably necessary, but, like, it definitely feels somewhat limited on the threat angle, and while I know Chad's willing to Dynamax Thievul,
Hey, easy there.
PTSD.
Yeah, exactly. Zapdos G is a good threat if it's going to be like your only threat, especially because like it can't be intimidated or anything. But it's not like it can be burst down, I think, and like there's like Indeedee too. So obviously it's like not easy to burst like through all that. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like for a Zapdos G team, this is one of my favorite ones I ever seen built around it pretty well, because Indeedee female and Zapdos G is a pretty popular combo, but you have like really good support with it with Heatran, Zapdos D pair really well with each other. I wouldn't have suggested that. They're a genius. Covers Ice and Fairy, Heatran, and Zapdos covers the ground types, which is really cool. And Trick Room Mood is very solid. Rune and Araquanid, you can, do things. And even have Loranthus in Trick Room, which also works. I guess only thing is Raichu without terrain isn't ideal, but it still can spam E-Force and it's fast E-Whips, which is a thing.
I guess.
Yes.
I was just gonna say the one thing that like scares me about like Indeedee's app is like obviously like Indeedee protects, but like you really don't want to come up against like opposing expanding force users.
True, but I feel like you have like Zapdos doesn't appreciate opposing the E-Force, but you have things like Heatran, Araquanid with Wide Guard, even Feeble. Feeble is really good to counter the opposing E-Force. I guess Fletchling being your form of Tailwind isn't ideal, but it's still great value for an E tier because Tailwind's always good. So I think it actually works here. So the team is pretty solid overall.
Yeah, it's really balanced in my opinion, and like about the offense, I think you still have an Indeedee on Psychic Terrain with 95 special attack, and that's good enough on its own. Raichu also gets Expanding Force, so there is some size spam as well.
Yeah,
and I really like the insta win against OC Frey. Just such a super smart pick to auto win against him.
So good.
True.
But regardless, I like both of the modes here, like the faster mode with the Raichu, the Zapdos, and then the slower Trick Room mode with Runerigus and Araquanid. And then Heatran kind of fits in both of those modes along with Indeedee female. And yeah, that's enough for me. I think that it has a lot of good pieces on it. It has Tailwind, it has Trick Room. It does have Fake Out, which is nice. abusers for the terrain. Lots of mons that love the terrain, and lots of immunities for the mons. So I like the team a lot.
This team is very swaggy. Lots of swag on this team. Very based. No dragon type because dragon type is overrated. That's it. That's all I have to say. This is my team. I'm not going to say much about it because
Well,
it's
we'll continue
mine. So
by putting it in the D tier.
perfect.
No, I'm putting you in A. Oh,
D for DH Solinor.
I feel like this is one of the most balanced teams.
Yeah, it feels extremely balanced.
All around, really solid.
Yeah, big fan of it.
Evolution.
All right, who is next after
Verte.
Verte.
Verte. And they got
Mid-Atlantic Gallades. Does he have Gallade?
no Gallade.
Nope.
Oh,
Auto D tier.
disappointing.
Not
No
drafting your
mascot pick.
mascot. SMH my head.
Well, I'm also
Yeah.
guilty of that, but we don't
Man,
talk
you
about
all
that.
are guilty.
Kind
Yeah,
The
of
only one who's
guilty.
not is Lilac because Ho-Oh isn't actually in the game or in this format.
That's a skill issue. You know, should have got the hello.
Oh.
Real.
Lilac, any responses?
Yeah, can we... If we legalize Ho, I will trade my Arcanine for it.
Oh.
So that Solinar can have the Arcanine. It all works.
I'll play
I'm
together.
good.
Alright, well, let's talk about the Mid-Atlantic Gallades, the first pick of Lapras, and then watching this team kind of build itself out into Trick Room, and I like it. I like it a lot. Fake out, Trick Room, redirection, max options, intimidate, ways to play fast as well, type coverage, type synergy, fire, water, grass, fairy, desert dragon. I fell into a hole.
Terrain issues.
I dodged all the mines and then I hit one. Damn.
This team has Parabolic Charge Heliolisk next to Gmax Weakness Policy Lapras.
Beautiful.
I think that's kind of funny.
You can also do that with Halucha.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, you can.
If you don't want to use Ice Shard Lapras, which is also obvious. Yeah, this team has a lot of weakness policy mons, which is pretty cool. Talked about earlier, I'm not a huge fan of Among Us, but it works here. Since Lapras is usually A tier, I feel like the Among Us plus Lapras combo is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So not that bad. You also complete a Fire, Water, Grass core with the Marowak.
I just wish that your water type could resist fire on this team when you have a Scavalier and a Mungus.
Whoa! He has an E tier fire resist.
I refuse to
Barbarical.
bring any acknowledgement to Barbarical.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Not
fair.
a great fire. I guess beside Marowak A as your fire resist, which is good, but besides that, that's your only viable one. But I don't think it's a huge problem because
Okay.
Lapras and Crook scare away fire types, anyways. So that's good. Yeah, this team. I don't know. It's good. It's good. I'm trying to see like what I don't like about it. It's yeah, I don't know. It's a good team.
Every single Pokemon on this team has 2 types. Every single one.
What a glorious sight to see.
He did it. He really did it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't complain about type diversity.
No
Yeah.
dragon type.
Well, you said it yourself like 30 minutes ago.
That was like 3 minutes ago, but yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
well,
fine.
3
It's
minutes
cool.
30. Same.
Dragon types are overrated, right? That's what you said.
Real.
Obviously.
That's a good take. But I interrupted you. I'm sorry. I had to say it though.
Yeah, I had a really important point about how I think people need to be prepared for Discharge Heliolisk alongside especially offensive Marowak.
Oh my
Hmm.
god. Yeah, views that Fit Club, right?
Real.
Just run Specs Marowak.
Easy.
God, that lead's gonna come out, and something is gonna click Earthquake, and both of those mons are not gonna be very big fans of that.
Well, no, it's weakness policy Marowak in expectation of the opposing Earthquake, so that when it Dynamaxes, it's a +3 attack.
Mm.
That's cool and all. I like the Trick Room part of this team. I think that you have Fake Out with Mr. Mime. I don't know. Don't bring Mr. Mime that much. It's like situational at best. But you have Redirection, and then Oranguru is like a good Trick Room setter overall. And like
Song's always too.
yeah, there are some really good Trick Room mons on this team. Like Marowak is like one of the best Trick Room sweepers in this format. Just like a fantastic offensive type with like necessary coverage. And then like Escavalier is like pretty decent too. I like this team, but I don't know. It's just like something about it feels a little off. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say something. Like, I was struggling to find like what I didn't like about it, but
there's no tailwind, which means like the team is like forced to rely on just being bulky to
true.
like live through stuff, or just setting up Trick Room. Which
But I
puts
think
a
the
lot of
team is bulky enough with Oranguru and Among Us and Lapras. That Tailwind isn't super needed because usually I love Tailwind on a team, but this team's already super bulky.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's not a huge complaint.
I would actually the thing I think I would want would be like a screen setter. Like I know you have Lapras, but then like you're forced to Gmax Lapras to get screens. Otherwise,
Mr.
like
Mime got strains.
yeah, but he's got base 90 speed. It's not quite fast enough for my taste when it comes to screen mons. So like I feel like having like secondary screens. I mean, you have Intimidate, Snarl, Crocodile as well to like help with damage reduction, but yeah, overall this team just feels a little all over the place for me. Like at its very core, it is like a policy-based team, which is like something you have to play around. But
yeah, it's policy
it's kind of like
just Trick Room threats.
yeah, that's like what I
I
see.
mean, you got Crook too. Crook is also a max threat.
Okay,
I mean,
can't
it's
kill a Dynamax Hatterene though.
oh, is this from experience?
Yeah.
Oh no. L.
Yeah, real.
Oh.
I sense a bunch of copium and salt.
Yeah,
Just a little bit.
just a little bit. Yeah.
What are we thinking for this Trick Room heavy team?
I think this team is S tier because every single mon has 2 types. I like that a lot.
Beautiful. Actually, I kind of do like it more than all the other A tier teams, to be honest. I actually am a big fan of this Trick Room team. Like the setter can't be faked out. That's what I like the most about it, I think.
For a Lapras team, this is pretty good. Usually, I'm not a huge fan of Lapras, but it's definitely a pretty solid in B tier. And
I think it's good in A tier personally. I think
it's Lapras was definitely good value here. I think they built around it really well. So I feel like that's fine.
Yeah, I'm not sure I love it in S tier because I just don't think it's like on the same caliber. Like I just don't think Lapras is on the same caliber as fucking Metagross and Celesteela. Like it just Lapras just ain't that guy. But I think it's good in A tier. I think it's better than most of the other A tier teams.
I think it's better than all the other teams in A tier.
That's why we won't put it in S.
That's why I wanted to put it in S. I think it's better than the other A tier teams. We'll leave it there for now. We'll mix it around at the end.
Okay.
Right. Who was after Verte?
Lucian.
He is Rebellion.
Yep.
And here we go. Go on, get it out of your system. Just do it now. Just blow it all away.
You motherfuckers.
I knew it.
You motherfuckers.
All right, there you go. You had your salt. Like, I gave you your spotlight. There you go.
Dragonite C tier?
Ah!
He's channeling his rage.
That's it. That's all. Fuck.
Yeah, you got him as like one of his favorite mons at C tier, man. It's also pretty solid mon. It would have got drafted at B tier, I'm telling you guys, but no, here it is at C. And Yeah, I mean, he built it around it okay. He has the Whimsicott Cabalion,
Mm-hmm.
which I feel like is probably the scariest mode with the Dragonite. You get your decent fancy core. But you have no real fairy resist beside the Metang with that, which can be a problem. I mean, I guess Dragonite can outbulk it, same with Cabalion, but that's something I noticed.
Yeah, I think this seems extremely it feels frail to me when I first look at it. I don't like the type synergy really at all.
I wouldn't call it frail because you have some really bulky mons with Slowking, and you have Intimidate support for it. So it's not really a frail team, but it's kind of it's kind of weird. I mean, yeah, some pieces are a little bit weird. You have you're stacking some typings like double fighting, and you have double fairy. Alchemy is decent. I've seen it do well, but it kind of does the same thing as Whimsicott in a way because what is Whimsicott gets Fate Tears and Helping Hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
As his support moods. So do you really need Decorate? So that's something there.
Yo, wait, he's got Palisand to Selgord. That's based.
Yeah, I was gonna say that next.
Sorry, I got excited when I saw it.
You're good. We can talk about it together. Water Shuriken Palisand. That's his other combo there. Pretty solid. And you have Arctivish, which with no hail, but I guess it's good with Tailwind. So, yeah, basically it.
What do you think about this team, Lilac?
I mean, I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty impressive as a Pokemon like Dragonite and C tier.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've always enjoyed like beat up Justified is like Cobalion's not like the most threatening one in terms of its like raw offensive stats, but Dynamax definitely helps you get past there as his +4 attack. Whimsicott is like one of the best support Pokemon to do that too, right? Like it's got a great speed stat and it's got a lot of other stuff that it can do. Like you don't even have to do that. And also in draft, I find that as much as it's like you can prep for it, it's also there's like a lot of ways of stopping it that are also easy to counter prep for, which always creates an interesting mind game, especially when it's just like an option that you have and not like remotely something you need to bring, but something your opponent does need to respect. That said, the fact that it's there does make the Water Shuriken Palisand combo a little bit less impressive to me, just because like you kind of you prep for both things the same way, right? Like if you prep to counter like the beat up mode, which is like overtly threatening, you're also kind of inadvertently prepping to counter the Excelgor Palisand combo if he does want to do that to people. It's just like a different. It's just like a different typing of like a similar thing, right? Yeah, otherwise, like, you get, like, you just, like, have really high base stats from, like, a lot of Pokemon, like, having, like, Slowking and Dragonite and stuff at lower tiers. It's just going to naturally give you a lot of bulk options. Dragonite is, like, a threat that doesn't need to Dynamax thanks to Inner Focus, so it can just, like, sit there and do whatever it wants. And, like, it's Dragonite, right? So there's, like, a million options. It can be physically offensive, it can be specially offensive. It can capitalize on the opponent's weather to click Weather Ball or like throw hurricanes that can't miss or whatever. Like,
yeah,
Dragonite's like the original Swiss Army knife before they like made a new Swiss Army knife and gave it 140 speed and Ghost type.
This is so sad.
F in the chat for Dragonite, but also not because it's C tier.
Well, I still am not a fan of it being like an offensive one. I don't like the offense on this team that much at all. Is another one of my concerns. Dragonite's the one that doesn't need setup. Cobalion and Palisand are the other two, I would say, the Dynamax threats. Arctivish is not a Pokemon. Let's be real. But that's how it is. I think that Cobalion and Palisand, you need to set them up for them to be good. If you can do that, fantastic, they're good. And Dragonite is the only like standalone Dynamax, which is good. Like I like having them on that you can basically rely on maxing, and it's fine. But I feel like it being the only one is a little lacking.
I guess there's Alcremie. I mean,
if he makes the birthday cake, attack. I will be so happy.
You can do that weakness policy bullet punch.
The birthday cake is like just like not as good as just Dynamax Alcremie. To be completely fair,
Boo.
like Misty Terrain is better than like what, a 16th of your health back. Like that's just, or is it like 1/8? Either way, it's like not enough to justify. If it was like a fourth of your health back, maybe, but
Oh, that would be
Um,
ridiculous.
it'd be good. I mean, Alcremie is not a good Pokemon, so like it could use
Yeah.
it. But I think that Arctivish would be a real Pokemon if there was like a real Hail setter here. But the problem with that is that Hail like is just not like actively good for anything else, like any other part of the team. Like
I mean, you
Whimsy
can
and a
get Hail
Selgor,
Dynamax.
yeah,
Hail,
like
Hail breaks your own multi-scale.
yeah, like it breaks your own sashes, it breaks your multi-scale. It's just like it's not incredibly helpful here. So I would see why he didn't pick it, but without it, Arctivish is just like sucks. Like it's not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, the ones I don't like are Alcremie and Arctivish, but everything else is okay. I feel like a fire type would be nice to complete another core over maybe the Arctivish or Arcremie, because I feel like those are the mons that are not doing much from the team. Everybody else has some kind of piece.
Metang's not really real either, but
It's not real, but it gives. I don't know. It's a fairy resist, which the team doesn't really have, so that's something.
does he have fast bulldoze?
Yeah. I mean, if you
Drag-
extract Hitmonchan, I
Dra-
think
Dragonite with inner focus choice scarf with weakness policy Metang.
Beautiful.
Honestly?
I approve.
It's just the same thing as Metagross, but E tier instead.
Yeah.
Like half the attack stat.
Hey, easy now.
Dude, you sleeping at 75 attack.
Alright, where are we putting the rebellion?
Dude, I think that this team is just so fucking weird. Like, this is like a classic
Dude,
Lucian.
this happens every time we rate Lucian's team. We don't.
Just like fucking weirdo team.
I don't know. He has his pieces. I know he'll make it work, but like I said earlier, I feel like there's some mons that I can't see what they will do, but he's gonna surprise us, right? So
Probably.
As long
Yeah.
as it's not versus us, he can surprise whoever he wants.
he has
I
week
wouldn't-
1 op, so we'll see.
I
Surprised
wouldn't.
when he has RNG.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
He wants
put
D
this-
tier.
I wouldn't put this team in B tier personally. I'd probably put it in C tier, but that's like feeding into what he wants. So fuck it, put him in.
We're putting him in C. I don't like the team that much, to be honest. I don't actually.
I mean,
but-
it's better than he wants. He's saying for D tier, so C is not what he
He'll be
wants. So.
he'll be fine. He'll be fine with C tier. You're gonna talk about you guys put me in the. You're okay with seeing.
who was next? Was it Niels?
It's JPay actually.
Was
Yeah.
it JP?
Oh, it's
JP.
it's my team.
You want
Yeah.
to cover it? Let's cover. You cover it. So you're
Yeah,
starting
cover-
to thirst.
Yeah, cover your own team. Why don't you?
Okay, yeah. I'm just like, I didn't have the doc. Okay, there we go. Stream's open. I'm like watching everything like 10 seconds behind when the stream needed.
Really shouldn't do this.
There we go. Okay, yeah. So my team, very notable because I drafted Regigigas and Weezing, which is a good thing to do with Dynamax. It's like really bulky. It has its own speed control with max strike stab off of base 160 attack. Neutralizing gas like can negate the enemy's Pokemon as well as it can buff Regigigas to actually be good. Beside Regigigas, there's like pretty reliable support Pokemon with like Blastoise, who can do everything, and Latios, who's got a pretty fast Tailwind in addition to like really strong stab attacks and some of the support.
Man, we should tell Pro Horse how good Latios is.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I'm really glad I got this third round Latios. I'm pretty sure there's nobody else who really wanted it, but
Yeah.
I'm glad to have secured it in the third round. Yeah, besides that, there's a Blacephalon, which is, haven't seen Blacephalon used a lot in Max actually, but
C tier's a steal.
Yeah, this motherfucker sniped my Blacephalon. I was not happy about that.
I mean,
You got Heatran now.
Yeah, I mean it worked out, but I originally wanted Blacephalon.
he's gonna clown on you now with it.
Literally.
Your mind will be blown.
Shut up!
Get out of my head.
And it's fake out immune.
Yeah, continue, Lilac.
Beyond that, Tangle at C tier. Somebody always picks Tangle at C tier. It's always exactly fine for C tier. Super passive, but like it gets Rage Powder, it gets Sleep Powder. It's pretty bulky.
There's no sun to chlorophyll it with excitement.
That one wasn't as good. I'll let that one go.
You could die in
I tried too hard for that one.
Yeah, that one was just like kind of sad. Honestly, it came out
Take
a
the
little
L
bit.
phase.
Yeah, you just gotta hold that one. Continue, Lilac. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Have your fun. But yeah,
That's
low
JP.
tiers.
Remember?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Low tiers are very usable. Like Skarmory and Avalugg don't have like a lot of applications, but they do have like applications where they're like genuinely good.
Skarmory and Avalugg are both sturdy mons.
They are sturdy.
Shut up.
They both have sturdy. They both have great physical bulk. They both have shitty special bulk. They're both slow enough to operate in Trick Room, and they both click body press on things.
This is a very physical, bulky team.
Yeah,
One
that
of
shit
the
is
three is
over
insane.
base 100.
Yeah. I mean, it helps when you have a 140 and a 184.
True.
Yeah.
Avalugg kind of carrying low-key, which is problematic considering Avalugg is like the mon that I think you should drop. I think that on Regigigas teams, if you have the ability to draft both Wheezing and Coughing, you should absolutely do it because it allows you to play more recklessly with Wheezing. And reckless Wheezing play can like really change the dynamic of a game, knowing that you have more neutralizing gas out the back.
And Coughing.
Yeah, I think that you should draft both if you can, because again, I think that reckless Wheezing play, like, you know, not protecting on a turn where you could protect and like going for like a risky burn or something. Like I think that plays like that can be real difference makers, and then you're not punished as hard because you have another neutralizing gas mod, which can help Regigigas. And I mean, I get that he has that with Latios and Simple Beam, which is like fine, but I don't know. Like, I don't love Avalugg. Like, I get it's like probably one of the highest BST E tiers, but this team doesn't really want it. Like, it's really slow, and
Avalugg would appreciate the Trick Room.
Yeah, and you would like to have Trick Room on a team with Avalugg, and all Avalugg is really doing is like adding more fire weakness to a team that's already like pretty fire weak. So,
well, you have Blastoise and Latios that deals really well fire types.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's fair, but I don't like Avalugg, and I don't like. There's no fast swagger for it as well. It's like the last thing I could remember.
I think swagger
Weezing has swagger. Wait, no, it doesn't.
Fast swagger, and no, it doesn't because yeah, we're not talking about that actually. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, I knew it had swagger, but when I used it, it was in a Natdex league when it had it.
So sad.
That's exactly what I'm referring to, actually.
I didn't know they cut it in Sword and Shield from it. That's really pathetic.
They cut tons of stuff.
I know.
Yeah, it's like they cut everything.
I don't know why I drafted Electivire. I'm not sure what Electivire here does. It's a fever dream. It's like an electric immune. But like
Electivire is nice. I think that Electivire is a little slept on, honestly.
It gives a decent max option.
Yeah.
Because really, your main two here are Blastoise and Regigigas. I mean, you can max Latios too, but when it's your only Tailwind setter, you're probably not going to max it as often.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're main for your Blastoise, Electivire, and Regigigas. So, okay.
I get that Rabombi has good speed and support, and like Speed Swap is a nice move, and like it's helped filling out some types for the team, but I'm not really sure what kind of support Rabombi really provides for this team. Like Rabombi's typically like speeds. I guess that's what it is. He's fucking speed swapping the Avalugg so that Avalugg can be fast, and then that's like his play. But again, I just don't think that that's better than more support for Regigigas, because Regigigas is fucking absurd. It's literally a restricted in a format without restricteds, and Weezing is good enough of a Pokemon where it can pass as a second mon to help make Regigigas restricted level. So
I think that Regigigas has enough support with You mentioned Simple Bean earlier, in case Weezing dies.
Yeah,
That's also good to bring it back to life, basically.
Yeah.
that's fair.
And I do
I don't
like.
know.
I like talking about Gmax Cannonade. I don't know why. I just like Cannonade. And
It's 'cause it's good.
And I like Blacephalon as kind of the back end sweeper for that, because it's got 107 speed, which is above average speed, and then it can just snowball from there. Because Heat Wave Beast Boosts can go really gnarly, especially paired with the little chip, which it's not actually that little, but it's enough, and that's how you can get the ball rolling. So
Yeah,
I really like that aspect.
I really like this team. I think that this team is actually very well built.
I think this team counters a lot of the other teams we mentioned with the Weezing, Gigas. Shutting down abilities is very important.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I like this team. I think that I would consider this another S tier team. Honestly,
Wow.
Really?
yes, I do think so. JP mentioned earlier that Blastoise can do everything, but Blastoise can't burn. So it's like, I don't know. I guess that's like the one thing it can't do. It can't burn with Scald, but otherwise it can basically do everything.
I was thinking this team was like along your level with A, because I really did like it too, but some picks are questionable, like with the Rabombi
and Skarmory feel weird.
And yeah, I feel
Rabombi also feels weird too. I'm okay with A, I think.
Yeah,
like,
because
Gigas, Weezing, and Blastoise I love a lot, and Blacephalon too with Lottie. The other mons I'm got a little bit of a question mark, but JP will probably show me how wrong I am.
Same here.
I disagree, JP. I think your team is S tier. Okay, moving on.
All right. you
Next up,
really, yeah. All right.
Next up should be Niels, though.
Niels is up.
Scuba Squirtles. Okay, this one.
This is the
gosh.
The double. Yeah, double tailwind. Wow. Yeah.
This is a weird team.
Yeah, so Niels, when I said draft a good Dynamax option to pair next to Tornadus, so that Tornadus doesn't have to be the best max option on the team, said, no, fuck you, Chad. I'm actually going to just draft a second Tailwind Mon so that Tornadus can just be the best max option on the team, and that's that.
Well, there's also Diggersby.
Yeah.
I feel like
I sleep on Diggersby so fucking hard. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not gonna snore on stream, but if I was going to snore on stream, I'd do it right now.
That's fair.
I don't love Diggersby all that much, truthfully, but
I think it's underrated.
Yeah, good C tier value.
It feels like the mon on this team that wants to Dynamax. I don't see like Diggersby and Tornadus are the two mons that want to max.
Yeah.
I guess Sylveon can max. I don't know.
It can, but I don't know if you want to.
It really
there are
just
some
wants to click Hypervoice.
Right.
Yeah, there are some weird pieces on this team. Like I really like the Torn Manchow. That's cool.
Yeah.
Sylveon Diggersby is also nice. And the rest I'm a little bit lost on. Like you got Slowbro G for Trick Room, I guess. That's cool. But you don't really have any great Trick Room abusers beside itself. And I guess Sylveon. Because Diggersby's Diggersby's actually surprisingly kind of fast.
Yeah, it's like it's not a good trick, or like not the best Trick Room mon.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit confused in the Trick Room mode, but the fast mode's alright. I really don't understand the purpose of Talonflame and Torn, like we talked about earlier. So that's weird. But I like the 4 mons earlier. That's really it.
Double Ice type as well, which is a little interesting, considering that one of them is just far better than the other.
Right.
Like, kind of a lot.
Weakness policy Diggersby.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they both get Ice Shard, and one gets Fake Out, and they both get Freeze Dry, but one has the Eviolite, and one is faster. Yeah, and the other one is Glaceon, and not Mr. Mime Galar. So
yeah, the Glaceon's weird here.
The D tiers are just like probably the worst D tiers that I've seen out of all of the teams, to be completely honest. Like Meowstic.
The decent one is Stonejourner.
Well, I think Stony J is fine, but I think the D tier specifically
Oh, D. I thought you said E. Yeah, you're
Oh,
right.
no.
I'm gonna
Digger-
use the R word again for this team. Redundant.
Yeah, agree.
Like 2 Tailwind setters, 3 fake out mons, 3
Yeah.
trick room setters,
Yeah.
You are correct.
and 2
Yeah.
ice types, 3 psychic types, 2
Yeah.
flying types.
The D tiers are both just one half of your better C tier. I just noticed that. Like
Yeah.
Meowstic and Glaceon both just make up Mr. Mime Galar, but Mr. Mime Galar is like better than both of them.
Mhm.
And he's just one mon as well.
That's
Get some better D tier picks, Niels. Come on now.
OC Frey said I killed Digger Bees with Squirrel in PDCL Garbage Mon. Well, then again, OC Frey lost to Loranthus.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
if Mr.
True.
Mime G is like taken out by a mid-season injury, then it could be useful to have Glacial.
Yeah, I guess. I guess if Mr. Mime fucking tears his ACL, then the backups can come in.
There's both ACLs.
It's kind of like
No.
Tornadus too. Tornadus like gets a knee injury and then Talonflame can step in. Yeah,
I mean, it'd be really impressive considering Tornadus has no legs.
that's the fucking joke. Good. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, redundancy. That's a super good word for it. This team. I to be honest, I don't think it's bad. Like, I think that it starts being not as good as soon as you get to like Slowbro is a questionable pick, and then like everything in D tier is bad. But like those are trades that could be made, and I don't hate double Tailwind. I've gotten fucked up by double like priority Tailwind before in the past, thanks to Mr. Garden Hose. So like I don't think it's like that bad. It takes the pressure off of both mons, which allows them to be able to do other things, which is fine. I just don't love the max options. I think that since you're like you're so limited to just like huge power physical Diggersby or Sylveon clicking max Starfall, and there, or yeah, Torn, who's like now forced to be one of the bigger max threats on the team. It's just I don't know. This team is like epitome of like incomplete, like really incomplete.
Yeah.
I see what it's trying to do, but it just like hasn't been executed correctly yet. And I think that you get rid of some of those redundant pieces that Spades was referring to, and I think that you do have a real team here. Like there are value Trick Room sweepers and D tier that you can get. So I kind of help fill the team out a little bit more. So I don't know. I don't hate it. I don't hate the squad.
I'm personally not a fan of it.
Yeah, I'm not too big of a fan. The typings,
Besides-
the typings is what I think sells it for me. They're just so bizarre and so inconsistent when covering for each other.
But I do agree he does have the trades to make the team more viable because
I just
we do
that
see what he's
water
doing.
Weakness and I just cry because he's going up against Dracovish week 1.
Oh, that's a good point. No, double freeze dry.
Yeah, duh.
But it's still going to kill you.
Yeah, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, L plus ratio plus,
I want
not my
C.
problem.
Maybe even D. I don't know.
I would say I want it in B tier, but you guys aren't. You all aren't gonna like agree with that.
Well,
So
C is fine. D is a little harsh.
I just don't
I
like
think.
the redundant pieces of it.
I don't know. What do you think, Lilac?
I'm definitely on the C tier side. I think I can see what it's doing. I can definitely get behind having multiple Tailwind setters because Tailwind is broken, and like both the mons doing it are good at doing other things as well, and like can come to the same game if you want them to. So like it's nice to like open up your Talonflame to like do things like throw out fast Will-O-Wisps, or open up your Tornadus to just like immediately Dynamax and Airstream or something, without necessarily sacrificing that Tailwind. But the D tiers are silly, and some of the other like lower tier picks I'm like not super high on, and like it's just like I don't know, the team is not super bulky and also has like egregious weaknesses, so it's like super susceptible to just being like ran over by like typings like steel or water, which are like not great typings to be weak to. Like, I don't want like everything on my team to die to max steel spike, because people are gonna click steel spike even if your whole team isn't weak to it.
That's the max guys there in this case. Feel shed.
That team had a huge steel weakness too. There's only 1 resistance and like 4 weaknesses.
True. Yeah, but 0 water resist.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, 3 to go.
Which is like a bad thing to be weak to as well, because normally like, you want, like, I think Tornadus and Talonflame are like mons where you'd like your team with those Pokemon to be like happy in the rain.
So true. So true.
Not hydrophobic.
All right, let's move along to the Hamilton Thundercats. Lilac's first opponent, so we'll have Lilac remain silent.
Sorry, Lilac.
Zip.
Sorry, you've been muted.
Yo, Drampa! Yes!
Oh.
I love
He's
Drampa.
got Cloud9 on his Sun team.
Oh.
Yes, but also Berserk is a better ability.
Absipper. Stuff like that.
No, come on now. Let's not do that here.
Does it go Drampa?
It's so bad. Yeah, this is a bad Zoroa team.
Oh,
No.
I didn't even see it.
Yeah, this is not a good Zoroa team. You already have 2 dark types on the team, and you only have really 1 mon that you can hide behind with Zoroa, because, I mean, it's like Jellicent. That's like basically it. Because most of the other mons actually have abilities that proc, like Porkle or Weavile with Pressure, or Intimidate, or Cloud9, or or Mold Breaker. It's just like a lot of these abilities proc. Like, this is just not the team for Zoroa. I think Zoroa is funny, but otherwise, sans the Zoroa pick, this team is really well built.
I like it a lot.
This is a really good Sun team. I feel like if Pro Horse got Venusaur, that would have been really nice too, huh?
Yeah, that could have been good. This team relies on Venusaur to Dynamax.
Yeah, Venusaur is definitely the best Dynamax option. You also have Drampa for the Trick Room.
Yeah.
But that's one thing I was gonna get into. You have a lot of like it seems really special. Like beside the Weavile, you have the Torracat, I guess, which I think Torracat's a little funny here. You do have the double fire type, and you already have Fake Out, and you already have really good defensive bulk. So I don't think Intimidate is as needed. I think a better physical attacker would be nice. As much as I love Pangoro, Mascot, and all, you're stacking the Dark type, which is okay, I guess. But I don't really know what actually. What can Pangoro do? Pangoro, I guess the one thing I can see Pangoro doing is Bullet Punch to Weavile, weakness policy, and you pickpocket something else. That's cool.
Yeah, pickpocket. you pickpocket a Life Orb, and then you have Life Orb.
Yeah, so that's something, I guess.
Well,
maybe that's what he's
Bullet Punch with your Pangoro.
Yeah, that's what I said, right?
Yeah.
It's Weavile.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, so that's cool, I guess. But I think beside that, I don't know what the Pangoro is doing completely when you already have a Dark type. And yeah, I don't know. But besides that,
Dark type, I guess, because like he can have something like it's a pretty good D tier Trick Room sweeper, I would think.
yeah,
It's
not bad at
a
all.
great ability because you can't intimidate it.
Yeah.
I feel like there are better fighting types that fit the team better as a D tier. But yeah, Pangoro is alright on here. But besides that, team is really solid. Cress is annoying. Moonlight, pretty reliable Trick Room setter.
Yeah, I like that there's multiple setters on this team.
Yeah.
Like having 2 TR setters feels very valuable. I mean,
Yeah.
the only thing is that they're like both kind of weak to the same thing. Like they're both weak to Dark and they're both weak to Ghost.
Probably why he has a double Dark type, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, but Pangoro really feels like it fills the role of being able to like kill both of those types, and Weavile can kind of do the same thing too, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worry about this team's lack of like damage. To be completely honest, like Venusaur is like the damage dealer, but like Torkoal needs help. Like if Torkoal wants to do damage, it needs Trick Room. Otherwise, it gets hit first, and then it doesn't do as much damage when it gets hit. Then Drampa like needs Trick Room too. Torcat is not strong. Weavile is like decently strong, but Cresselia is like not really strong either. It needs help if it wants to deal damage too. So like, I worry a little bit about this team's just like ability to hit
Yeah,
super hard.
that's what I meant. I think a better physical attacker along with Weavile would be nice.
Yeah,
With
like a
decent speed.
Dynamax one.
Yeah. I would like that a lot more than the Pangoro or Torracat.
Agreed.
But yeah, that's really my only complaint. I think everything else is really solid.
I agree with that. I think this team is pretty good.
Yeah, although I guess you mentioned about Venusaur kind of being the only one that wants to max, but it's hard to complain when you have a G-Max move that does a 1/6 of a percent of the damage. That's just really, really good.
Oh wait, Emolga gets speed swap. I'm stupid. So you could speed swap Torkoal with Emolga and then click eruption.
I mean, it's still only 103, but that's still pretty fast, I guess. But yeah, that is something you can do.
Certainly. I forgot about that.
Nice.
Speed swap do be funny.
Yeah. This is an A tier team if I've ever seen one.
think
I agree.
Do you agree, Lilac?
Oh, I thought I was muted.
Well,
No.
welcome back.
Yeah, you
Oh
can
yeah,
come
that's
back.
right. You're banished. Not allowed to come back anymore. Unlucky.
We have a lot of
I
we have a lot of
this
people
team
in
has
here.
glaring exploitable weaknesses that its first round opponent can definitely use to dismantle them.
Damn.
Who's their first run up?
Me.
Oh, right. Oh, right. I don't know why
Wait,
I
you weren't
forgot.
being sarcastic? That was funny.
Nah, dude, I completely like it. I totally forgot. I was muted. I was like, oh, right. Yeah, it's okay.
It's getting late.
Well,
Funny.
it's getting. It's been almost 3 hours. It's been
We're
quite
gonna
long.
hit 3 hours here soon. We can go ahead
Definitely.
and skip over your team then. We can move on if that's alright.
Yeah, if you want that.
We won't do such a thing. Alright, we'll mute Panda now because we'll instead of make fun of Panda for his choices. Like, so we start off with a really garbage A tier in Moltres Galar. Terrible. Just so bad. 85 attack is nothing. Then you got some terrible support mon with Raichu. 60 HP. I cringe.
Yeah, who would even use this Pokemon together?
No.
That seems like a really.
I would really need a Latias, actually. I don't think anyone else wanted a Latias.
Man, Latias was such a good pick. Like, it really makes this team so much better.
Mm.
I can't imagine using Raichu and Moltres Galar on the same team.
Especially without Latias. Like, it really is.
Good thing that this coach doesn't have to go through that reality, huh? Because he did it.
Alright, I'm done.
In all
I'm done with
seriousness,
my bullshit, yeah.
Yeah, Moltres G is broken,
yeah,
and you got it like 15th pick. That's pretty good.
yeah.
They threw that for me.
I thought about picking it, but then I was like, I just used Moltres Galar, so I opted out of it.
And now you gave Panda a Moltres Galar, so it's your fault.
True.
Thank you, Lilac.
I like Panda.
Thank you.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, it's a sweet team. It's got a lot of sweet Pokemon. It's got a lot of sweet singles Pokemon actually on it too. As a singles player, I can appreciate a UU team in the form of like Latias, Moltres Galar, Aegislash, Nidoking.
That's a thing, huh?
But yeah, there's like, we've had some teams where we're like, oh, this team is kind of lacking firepower. This team is not lacking firepower. Everything on this team has firepower. Even Glalie can have firepower if you get the right Moody swing.
I like how consistent Glalie is.
Yeah, Glalie
That is
like
a beauty to look at. 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80.
Oh, I thought you were meaning the fact that it has Moody, so it's like the most inconsistent mod on the planet. But
God. But no,
yeah,
other than
I mean,
that,
and you've got like, yeah, you've got like great mixed attackers too. Like Aegislash can be physical or special, Magmortar can be physical or special, Nidoking can be physical or special.
Yeah, I agree with most of those takes. I like this team, kind of. There's a lot of priority on this team, which I can really appreciate. Like, priority Mach Punch, priority Ice Shard, Sucker Punch Moltres, Aqua Jet, Shadow Sneaks. Lots of priority, and I can really appreciate that because that typically that typically is important in like specific late game scenarios, and it's like a thing that can be played towards. I think that Moltres kind of has to carry the load here as like being the Dynamax option. Like the only other one who can really do it is Azu. And I mean, they're both like fantastic max options, and Raichu checks both of their main weaknesses, but most of these other mons they just don't max. Like Hitmonchan is not a mon you're typically wanting to max. Magmortar can, it's like not as good. Nidoking typically isn't trying to max. Aegislash isn't. Like it's like very reliant on Moltres and Azu to be the max options. So that's like my one like critique that I see with it. But otherwise, fast Tailwind, Fake Out, good Trick Room, Imprisoner, good non-max damage, which is like something that's really valuable that like tends to get overlooked in these Dynamax leagues. Because I think Magmortar, Hitmonchan, Nidoking, and Aegislash are all really good damage dealers, like outside of the Dynamax. So
yeah, but if you're gonna play towards that, you have to play more towards the bulky side, or at least like kind of stall out their max, because those mons are very dangerous when the opponent can't or like isn't maxed. But when they are, they're not doing enough damage, and they're not bulky enough to survive damage. So,
right.
So you need to play step one. If I'm gonna max, I need to do it almost immediately, and I need to knock out their max first, and then my mons are just better outside of max.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
But yeah, I see Moltres Galar is gonna be the main max. Lottie can max, Azumarill can max. Those are all really solid. Maybe you go Aegislash, but I think you're gonna rely on Moltres and Latios and Azumarill as your three main max options, which they aren't bad. Like, Moltres is great, but Lottie and Azumarill will need a little bit of help.
Yeah.
I guess, like, the one thing that I would have liked to see for this team, because it's, like, Moltres G is, like, a broken max threat and a great thing to support, it would have been nice to see, like, a really strong screen setter or, like, a really strong, like, pollen puffer or something. Like, stuff that can really, like, keep, inflate Moltres' like natural bulk and longevity, and also like let it kind of play around with berserk boosts, especially so that it can like, because Moltres G is like great in most matchups, but sometimes like you run up with teams that are like full of steel types or fairy types or whatever, and you need more, like you need help to break through, or you need like help to like you can break through, but you need like the bulk to let you take hits, especially with like in those kinds of matchups, like having like Raichu can set screens, like, and it's like pretty fast. So I think Latios can too, but like having like just like, you know, like the classic and like prankster screen support type mon can be really nice for letting you just like run weakness policy and let somebody else proc it and just like airstream your heart out, you know?
Yeah, I definitely could see that. I mean, Raichu can set screens theoretically, but yeah,
it wants to do so much other stuff. Like it wants to like it can set screens. I feel like you'd be more likely to have Latias be on screen setting duty than Raichu, just because like Raichu's got so many moves it wants to run.
Yeah, it's got a lot to do.
My experience of using Raichu is always being like, there's 5 mons I want to use even before I try and get cute with it.
Mm-hmm. This is a good team though.
Yeah, let's go ahead and rank this.
I would say high A tier. It's not quite S tier just because I'm not thrilled with the lack of max diversity. Like, I think Moltres is like one of the big like 5 when it comes to max options in this format, but like he is gonna have to max it every week, and with no like competitive or defiant mon to keep snarls away. Like I feel like that's another big problem. So
Definitely an A tier team.
yeah, A tier, not S tier. Good job, Panda. You did well.
Thank you.
But yeah, I can tell you definitely like non-max formats because you draft mons for non-max formats.
All these mons are mons I drafted before, basically, or mons I
Yeah.
liked.
Yeah, I figured. All right, last team, my first round opponent. So I'll let you guys do the speaking. The New Orleans Ninetales by Tiger VGC.
Tiger.
This is
Cool.
the Incineroar Gastrodon team, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this
There's
team.
This
This
is
There's a lot of
team
talk
team.
about this. There's a lot of talk about this team earlier.
Oh
This is
man,
the
this team's
VGC team.
this team's E tiers are so bad. What the fuck?
Abra and Grookey?
I just want to say,
Hey,
I'm curious
if
why
this was
Abra
Little
over
Cup.
Kadabra. That was weird.
Because Abra's cooler?
No, it isn't.
I
Kadabra,
don't know.
Kadabra is holding a spoon.
Okay,
It's
I agree.
It's
Just
a
missing
Nest
the ice
Ball
cream.
shout out. Abra and Grookey
Sure.
are broken in Nest Ball.
But one thing about Grookey, Grookey always wins divisions, man. It's like 5 wins, right?
And something
Cool.
like that.
So,
Yeah, Gassy Surge is good.
Tiger can probably win this with Grookey.
True. Besides that,
So I mean, I think this team is sweet. I love as a singles player, I love Ninetales Alola and Arctozolt, and I love Corviknight, and I also love Corviknight in doubles, despite what people say. And then,
Corviknight
in
in C tier is
Incineroar-
pretty good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like, Corviknight's like a great Pokemon. It's like so bulky, and it can 6-0 people or 4-0 people. Don't let people convince you otherwise. Naganadell's like a pretty good max threat too. I guess that might be the one thing that this team could be lacking at a glance, max threats. Naganadell's can do it, especially it can run away with beast boosts and max poison boosts. And Ninetales, Aurora Veil can definitely help it do that. It can also proc Policy with Ice Shard, obviously. Arctozolt doesn't really want to max because it wants to Bolt Peak stuff. And Incineroar can max.
Incineroar is a good Maxmon.
Yeah.
Incineroar is a fantastic max option, actually.
It might be the best max option here, in my opinion. With
I think-
the Dusclops, you can do weakness policy stuff.
True. That was like a Series 3 team I ran.
One thing that I would actually like to see in this team, and I think that this team could get it, is invest a low tier in a parabolic charger, because then you actually I know it's kind of a meme, but you can weakness policy Corviknight and max Airstream.
The Dene's time to shine.
It's better than freaking Abra.
No,
True.
that's so true. So true. Because Corp is pretty good here, but it does lack the damage if not set up right. So
Yeah, it can in non-max you can create space for it to bulk up or Iron Press and then run away with games because it's unkillable. But in max you don't have that luxury, right? So if you want to be unkillable in max, you either need to Dynamax it so it's also so that it even the playing field with opposing max attackers, or you need to buff its offense so that it just threatens to pick off non-max mons, and it's throwing its attacks off of a base 87 attack. It can't be intimidated, and in fact will reflect intimidate. Doesn't take a ton of setup, and you can even if you do something I don't know, you could run E tier Dedenne and it can nuzzle stuff, right? It's got base 100 speed. It can pair stuff for speed control for some of your other Pokemon too.
who needs
Base
that when
1-0.
you have Hypnosis Ninetales?
At base 102 speed, actually. I'm pretty sure. I know Dedenne is over the 100
It's
threshold.
over 100. It's I have it on a team somewhere. I don't use it, but I have it by happenstance.
I think
base 100.
Arctozolt is a little slept on as a max option. I mean, Ice Electric is just such a powerful stab combo.
It's great
and-
coverage.
When it Dynamaxes, it gets a real physical ice move and physical hailstorm. And I think that there's some real value that comes with that. Yeah, you lose Bolt Beak, but you gain max hailstorm and you still get a really strong max lightning. So, and I mean, it's got coverage max Quack, max Knuckle. Both of them are nice. Yeah, I like this team, but at the moment it really does just kind of feel like a 8-mon team because it's 0 value out of. out of the E tiers. Like,
I think,
but I do like Gastro and Corviknight as a defensive core, and Incineroar. That trio is very defensively potent and definitely requires Tiger to play. Definitely requires Tiger to play like relatively smart with the team. Like, this won't be an easy team to use. It won't be like super user friendly, but I do think that it will be good. So
Yeah, I think it's sweet. I really hope it does well.
I like how the Gastrodon is supported. Gastrodon hates grass types. You have like 5 other mons that get rid of grass types for you. So Gastrodon, it can be played pretty well and have good positioning with Yawn, Recover, and be a real nuisance to other teams since you can't really kill it right away with all these threats.
Which is good because this team needs to like it needs to create windows of opportunity for its threats. Because like Naganadel and Arctozolt can run away with games, but they're frail.
Yeah, that's one thing I guess. Like, this team doesn't really appreciate like max rockfall. Changing the weather up, since the weather mode is probably coming almost every week. Getting rid of the weather isn't really nice for you, I guess. But you do have Gastrodon for that. But that can be kind of annoying if you want to go weather. So yeah, a cool team.
Yeah.
Cool team.
this is a cool team. I agree. I just wish the E tiers existed. I wish they were real. I want them to be real so bad.
There are definitely some good E tiers available. So I don't think Tiger used the best of their ability to find the best ones, but you know what? It can work. Who knows?
I disagree, but that's okay. We can agree to disagree on that one.
Where are we putting this team?
I hate to say it, but I kind of like this team in A tier too. We have so many fucking A tier teams.
I was gonna say I want to put it in A tier, but I'll let you guys talk me down to B tier. But if you guys want to put it in A tier too, I think it's sweet. And
Yeah, I think
I value sweetness over effectiveness.
Does this team have Surf? I feel like this is a team that could use like a fast Surf mon for Gastrodon. Arctozolt gets it.
Yeah, it's Slush Rush boosted.
Yeah, Surf can be cool to boost the Storm Drain on.
I feel like it's something that this team wants. Like, this team feels like it wants Surf somewhere.
Well, I just realized we have so many A tier teams.
Yeah,
we
have a lot.
That's wild.
Just a bunch of well drafted teams, honestly.
Not really even ordered. I just kind of threw them in here.
No need for that. It's okay.
Just order. We should just like
real.
Oh wait, you know what we should do? I'm gonna mess up this tier list and then post it, and then people are gonna flip out.
Is the order?
Yes.
Who cares?
This is gonna be so funny. So they actually have to watch to see the real tier list.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
We don't care about their opinions.
Funny. All right.
Yeah, I don't help make tier lists and power rankings for other people's opinions. I do it because it's funny.
So true.
It's gotta be for the meme content. Well, anyways, that will wrap up this stream. We take a look at the teams. We think the best 3 teams are the Pogging Porygons, the Metro Metagross, and it looks like the Slayport Slackings.
Big fan of that team.
And all have fantastic logos too, so can't go wrong there.
No, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that OC Frey's logo is any good.
You can pretend all you want. It's fine.
I refuse to be a part of that. I refuse to be a part of that movement, that ideology. It's movement. Yeah, the OC Frey good logo movement.
OC Frey movement.
Well, anyways, thank you all for stopping by. This has been a nice long journey. We're gonna finish right under 3 hours. We talked a lot. I hope you all were entertained, and we are just getting started with this division. Week 1 started earlier. We have 1 match being played. We got plenty more to go through. And yeah, if you like all this stuff, feel free to follow. Tell me what you think of it. I appreciate all feedback. And I appreciate all of you who are watching it. I'm very thankful for Panda, Lilac, Solanor, and JP. Although rest in peace, JP's internet. We'll have to have a funeral for you.
Yeah, rest in peace, my internet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Real.
yeah, thank you all for joining this. Any final words, my fellow guests?
Yeah.
It should be a fun season. Fun
Hopefully.
teams.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
this shit finna be a movie.
I'm just here to beat Odie quick and Solanor. That's as
That
long as
ain't
I win
gonna-
those matchups.
That ain't finna happen.
That's
Should
gonna
have
happen.
rigged the schedule. I could have made so many matchups. Unlucky.
Unlucky.
All right, well,
Unlucky.
thank you all again, and we will speak later.